Chapter 4763. Even though Lin Fei couldn't use the great karma technique on him, he realized that he could attack him at this moment. Lin Fei could feel the beauty of the heaven and earth spirit qi from his body. It was a great feeling. Thus, without hesitation, he immediately cast a spirit projection. This thing didn't consume much energy. The only mistake the Celestial Realm Guardian made was to disperse his power. That was why Lin Fei was able to enter his body in an instant. The Celestial Realm Guardian was slightly taken aback. Yi Xian's body turned into a vortex. Endless spirit auras of the universe were taken away by someone in an instant, because Lin Fei used the Great Plunder technique in an instant. He didn't give the Celestial Realm Guardian any chance to fight back. Hong Wan, who was far away, was also surprised, because at this moment, she couldn't grasp any traces of Lin Fei's movements. There were no clues at all. He just appeared in the Celestial Realm Guardian's body. Following, another terrifying plundering power was produced. It was actually plundering the heaven and earth spirit qi in the Celestial Realm Guardian's body. Why was he so powerful now? It was because he could control the heaven and earth spirit qi. People like them couldn't accumulate heaven and earth spirit qi at all. Why could they last until now? It was because the heavenly arcane treasure body was different. Even the Celestial Realm Guardian couldn't control it for a while. If they were outside, Hong Wan could use the heavenly arcane treasure body to suppress the Celestial Realm Guardian. But here she couldn't. But now, Lin Fei's performance really surprised Hong Wan. What an interesting fellow. He actually managed to grasp a divine ability like the Great Karma technique. Even in the upper echelons, no one would dare to look down on him. The number of people who can grasp it is simply too few. Unexpectedly, not only did he manage to grasp the Great Karma technique, he even managed to grasp a divine ability like this. This time, the guardians of the immortal plane are probably going to suffer greatly. A technique like this, Hong Wan hadn't seen it before. Of course, she had seen the Great Karma technique. Very few people could cultivate it. It required a certain amount of talent. The other techniques were more powerful, especially the plundering technique. It was ferocious and domineering. The illusory figures kept twisting and exploding one by one. Their heaven and earth spiritual qi had been plundered, so they naturally lost the opportunity to exist. Naturally, Lin Fei would not let it go. He would take advantage of this opportunity to plunder everything. Whoosh! In an instant, the great chill appeared in this small area. The great glacier spell sealed the void. Even the immortal world protector, who had already been plundered by the Great Plunder, was slowed down by the Great Glacier spell. A Great Glacier spell like this was extremely powerful and had a certain degree of penetrative power. Naturally, it would affect the guardian of the immortal world. Hateful guy, you dare to steal the heaven and earth spiritual qi in my body. You're dead. I'll definitely eat you. I'll definitely refine you. The ice shrouding his body was instantly shaken off. The immortal world protectors transformed into unique existences. They were no longer the spheres from before, causing Lin Fei's Great Plunder to fail. In that instant, it allowed Lin Fei's strength to recover completely. In just a short period of time, he had already plundered half of the heaven and earth spiritual qi. That's right, half. The opportunity to control his strength was too good. Time is like a blade, destroy your body. Recovering half of his strength was something to celebrate for Lin Fei. He knew that the immortal world protectors were hard to kill, but with half of their strength, things were different. He directly displayed the Tao of Time. With a slash, time was the blade. One by one, those unique existences instantly crumbled. Initially, the guardian of the immortal world didn't think much of it. Even though he was still roaring in anger, it was still a piece of cake for him to say that he was just a suppressive fellow. But after the slash, he realized that he had underestimated this guy. He was filled with fear. That was because His doppelganger had been destroyed in an instant. It had completely disappeared. Hong Wan's countenance instantly changed. I can't believe that this guy can actually control time. Time is like a blade. Because the immortal world protector was a special life form, it was naturally difficult to deal with. She didn't expect to meet a tough guy this time who had mastered the Tao of Time. Time was like a blade, and with one slash, the special life form collapsed. I said, I'll kill you, so I'll kill you. There's no need to explain. I don't want to stay here anymore, so I can only kill you first. Lin Fei's time is like a knife had grasped the trick to this. He skillfully executed chain slash after chain slash. Every slash that landed on the guardian of the immortal world caused him to shriek miserably and his aura to plummet. Don't do it, don't do it. You won't have a good ending if you kill me. I'm willing to let you go. Let you go. The immortal world protector kept screaming in pain. This was because he couldn't run too far. Even if he ran very far away, time wouldn't be able to ignore distance. The saber landed on his body, cutting off more than half of his life force. This was the most terrifying thing. Even if the immortal world protector had a lifespan of hundreds of thousands of years, in front of this, one slash was tens of thousands of years. No one would be able to withstand it. He really regretted it. Who brought this guy in? Lin Fei, don't listen to him. Kill him in one go. Otherwise, once he notifies the higher-ups that stronger people are coming, it will be even harder to leave. Hong Wan reminded him. At this time, if he didn't remind him, once the immortal world protector sent the message back, it would really be a great despair. Of course, Lin Fei wouldn't let the other party leave. One slash after another. In just 8 slashes, the immortal world protector was taken down. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth floated out. Lin Fei didn't stand on ceremony and used the great plunder technique again. Of course, the power this time was much weaker. Fortunately, Lin Fei grasped the time well and absorbed the remaining spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It was incomparably thick. Finally, he maintained his strength at the 5th level. Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. Immediately, the sky full of fragments fell. Of course, other than that, there was also a key. Seeing this key, Lin Fei's eyes lit up. He instantly grabbed it, and it landed in his hand. Seems like we have a chance to leave this damn place. Now, do you believe that I can kill the immortal world protector? Lin Fei turned around and said to Hong Wan with a smile on his face. Chapter 4764. Actually, Lin Fei was quite surprised. He didn't expect that he would be able to kill this guy under such circumstances. He thought that he would be able to severely injure him using the great karma technique. However, he realized that there was no karma connection between them. Fortunately, this guy was a special life form with a large amount of heaven and earth spiritual energy in his body. Lin Fei naturally wouldn't hold back. He projected his soul over. Then, he used the great plunder technique. This allowed him to instantly plunder the opponent's heaven and earth spiritual energy. Finally, he was able to use time like a blade and kill him off. He even dropped a key along the way. He saw the key. Lin Fei knew that this was the chance to leave the celestial world cage. It was on this key, because this key was quite extraordinary. I wonder if we can leave the celestial world cage with this key. Hong Wan was also very excited at this moment. He wasn't as cold as before. No one knew the importance of this key more than him. This is indeed the only key to leave the celestial world cage. As long as we push it, we can leave the celestial world cage. If we want to leave, we need a key. The key is kept by the celestial world guardian. Hearing this, Lin Fei finally heaved a sigh of relief. They could finally leave this place. Then let's go back and bring them along. We'll leave the celestial world cage directly. I don't want to stay here anymore. Not long later, Lin Fei and the others returned. Because Lin Fei could use the great teleportation technique, he accurately locked onto their location. This time, these people were still very nervous. When they saw the two of them return, they heaved a sigh of relief. In an instant, Lin Fei used a technique to wrap them up together. Hong Wan also kept the treasure. Lin Fei pushed the key, and in an instant a light enveloped them. Swoosh! They left the celestial world cage. After Lin Fei and the others left, a figure descended from the celestial world cage. His face was very gloomy and scary. He also saw the guardian of the immortal world being killed. Oh no! What's going on? The protector of the immortal world has been killed. I can sense the aura of time here. Could it be that an expert who has mastered the grand Tao of time has barged in? This person immediately came to the vicinity of the village, but he didn't see anyone. Hong Wan has been imprisoned for nearly 100,000 years. I didn't expect that we would be so close to success. I didn't expect her to escape. Now we're in big trouble. Whoosh! He disappeared again. Lin Fei finally experienced the incomparably vigorous spiritual qi of heaven and earth again. At this time he appeared in the starry sky, and so did the people around him. In an instant, Lin Fei turned into a huge vortex, crazily absorbing the spiritual energy of the world. In the blink of an eye, the spiritual energy of the world had recovered to 100%. That was the only way. Lin Fei could finally heave a sigh of relief. This place was still a different world. Lin Fei was very familiar with it. There was absolutely no other place. In other words, there was an immortal world cage in this alternate world. It was really a little unbelievable. These people also breathed in the spiritual qi of heaven and earth again. In the blink of an eye, all of them emitted a strong aura. Thank you, Brother Lin. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to get out. This is my identity token. When you come up, you can look for me. Everyone knew. If it wasn't for Lin Fei, they wouldn't have been able to get out at all. Not to mention breathing in the fresh spiritual qi of heaven and earth again. Lin Fei didn't stand on ceremony. They all kept it. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Beams of light landed on them. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared. Their strength is too strong. They were discovered by the will of this side and were directly driven out. I will also leave soon. Hong Wan looked at Lin Fei in front of her and really couldn't believe it. One day, she was actually saved by him. Then the guardian of the immortal world would definitely eat her. She couldn't obtain the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, but she didn't expect to meet a different kind of existence. This is something that I carry with me. When you come to the celestial world, look for me. Before that, I won't forget it. The light shone down. It shone on Hong Wan's body. In the blink of an eye, she entered the void and then disappeared without a trace. I'm leaving now. Lin Fei blinked. You are an important person. Are you going to give me such an item? At this moment, Lin Fei had a handkerchief in his hand. It was a really comfortable handkerchief, and it was filled with a different aura. It even had a bit of Hong Wan's fragrance. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He also knew that Hong Wan's identity shouldn't be simple. He might even be an important person. That was because he felt a really terrifying and dangerous aura from her. No matter what, Lin Fei had managed to escape in the end. Then he remembered. The 10-star demon god ancient tomb was a huge trap. Who would have thought that there would be such a person in there? Just an instant. Lin Fei was prepared to head back and wipe him out, but after thinking about it, he decided not to. Who knew what traps were there? Although he grasped the time Tao, his physical body was still a little weak. If he really went back, it wouldn't feel good if he suffered. Lin Fei would be careful. He kept the handkerchief. Once he reached the celestial world, he had to see what kind of background this Hong Wan had. Although he was quite strong now, he didn't have enough accumulations. This infinite grotto heaven was too small. The accumulated power was too weak. He had to be really thick so that he would have a chance to head up. Right. I have to capture that king of 10,000 demon. This fellow knows how to craft grudge thought beads. He is a great helper, I can't let him roam freely outside. Somewhere else. Lin Fei didn't want to go. He had to capture the king of 10,000 demon. Lin Fei had thought about this before. Now he could finally bring him back with a justifiable reason. Let me see where this fellow is. Luckily, I have the great karma technique. I should be able to find him. He activated the great karma technique. Lin Fei saw many karma lines in the air. He searched. He had finally found a karmic line. It belonged to the king of 10,000 demon. This guy is quite interesting. He actually snatched away such a body and suddenly became a great expert. He's really good at hiding, but it's a pity that he met me. Lin Fei laughed. It was too easy to find people now. Chapter 47:65. Recently, the Demon King's mood was quite good because he had seized a rather high-level body. This high-level body had quite a background, so he recovered his strength in a short period of time. He was relatively low-key and did not expose himself. But in his heart, he had always hated a person that Lin Fei. If not for him, he would have been so unlucky. With great difficulty, he dug a big hole. In the end, he did not collect many resentment beads, and it became someone else's. Later, he used this body to return to that place, but he could not find his ring at all. Even the ring seemed to have been opened by someone. This made the Demon King even more furious. Killing intent began to rise in his heart. He also arranged many people to investigate this Lin Fei. The more they investigated, the fewer clues there were. The only thing they knew was that this Lin Fei should be an intruder. This kind of situation was quite common for people who came from outside the world. This was because the king of 10,000 demons had killed many invaders in the past. He did not expect that this time he would actually suffer a big loss. Thinking of this, the killing intent in the Demon King's eyes became even heavier. I have to find that kid as soon as possible. If I let him leave this place, it will be too difficult to kill him in the future. I might not be able to meet him in this lifetime. Regarding the other world, the Demon King really did not dare to go there easily. It was really too dangerous. In the past, there were also people who went there, wanting to take advantage of it. In the end, they were careless and suffered heavy casualties. Since then, no one dared to go there easily. It was better to stay in their own homes. The king of 10,000 fiends also thought so. Why would he go out? It was so dangerous. If he was careless, he would be killed. In his own territory, it was different. He could kill whoever he wanted. It was just a matter of a word. After I come out from the blood pool, my strength should be able to completely recover. At that time, I must go and find that Lin Fei. Right now, the king of 10,000 devils had quite an impressive background. Now that he has seized this body, he has the identity of the eldest son of the Dark Church. So in a short period of time, his strength increased very quickly. He had already reached the level of a 5-star demon god. If he went into seclusion again, he would be able to regain the strength of a 6-star demon god. In this area, he was already a top-notch expert. Thinking about it, the king of 10,000 fiends was quite grateful to Lin Fei. If he hadn't helped her, how could she have snatched a body so easily? People might not even believe him if he said it out loud. Lin Fei had also started searching. He followed the path of the great karma technique and saw some things. One couldn't help but say that this king of 10,000 demons, luck, was pretty good. He actually managed to snatch away such a fleshly body. They were actually from the Dark Church. Lin Fei naturally knew about the Dark Church. Previously, when he went to the ancient tomb of the 10-star devil god, he encountered the people of the Dark Church. He didn't expect that the 10,000 Devil King would also come to the Dark Church at this time. He also had such a status. His strength should have increased extremely quickly. Lin Fei didn't really care. No matter how fast his strength increased, it couldn't be as powerful as him. Taking down the king of 10,000 demons was a piece of cake. Lin Fei spent half a month and finally arrived at the territory of the Dark Church. This place used darkness as the base. shrouding everything inside. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth contained some dark elements. If one didn't practice dark techniques here, they would feel very oppressive and uncomfortable. This was the same as going to the light church. One was darkness, one was light, both were opposites. Lin Fei didn't have such a big experience. He released the power of 5 elements around his body and directly blocked the dark forces outside. His body was like a vacuum zone, basically not affected at all. There were still a lot of people from the dark church. From time to time, he could see some merchants. Lin Fei didn't care about this. He came here this time to look for the king of 10,000 demons. He wanted to capture this guy first. He couldn't miss such a good labor force. If Lin Fei wanted to get more faith value or more resentment beads, he would have to rely on the king of 10,000 demons. The king of 10,000 demons, who was preparing to go into seclusion, suddenly sensed something. He seemed to be thinking about something. Soon the corner of his mouth rose and he laughed. Ha ha ha! I didn't expect my luck to be so good. I ran into that kid so quickly. Could it be that this kid came to the dark church to do something? The king of 10,000 demons still had some means. He immediately sensed the aura of Lin Fei in the vicinity, faintly discernible. He was very sure of one thing, that is, this Lin Fei definitely came to the dark church. As for what it was, he didn't know. Was it important to him? It was simply not important. As long as the person came, everything would be fine. His trusted aide came from outside. Immediately bring the people of the law enforcement hall to catch this guy for me. The king of 10,000 demons not only had a big background now, he was also a hall master of the law enforcement hall. A portrait appeared in the void. It was precisely the appearance of Lin Fei. Understood. Immediately, a small team from the law enforcement hall was sent out. Lin Fei already knew where the king of 10,000 demons was. This guy also sensed me and actually dispatched a squad to deal with me. Lin Fei also sensed that the king of 10,000 demons had made his move and dispatched a squad to deal with him. The strength of this squad was quite capable. With a whoosh, Lin Fei's entire person disappeared from sight. With a great teleportation technique, he arrived at the territory of the Dark Church, which means he was inside the city. After all, it was great teleportation technique, which could break through all kinds of restrictions. Even a formation couldn't block it. This was the frightening part of great teleportation technique. After arriving inside the Dark City, Lin Fei directly went to the mansion of the king of 10,000 demons. In front of a majestic mansion, the figure of the king of 10,000 demons was inside. Another great teleportation technique. Lin Fei entered the mansion. The king of 10,000 demons was waiting for the good news. The law enforcement hall was dispatched. With the strength of that kid, he shouldn't be their opponent. Last time he regretted it. It was very likely that he was tricked by the other party. Otherwise, when he returned on the spot, he might be able to seize this guy's body. Thinking about it, this kid's body was quite strong. It could hold on for so long. Although his fighting strength was average, it could be considered as a good foundation. Such a good thing was relatively rare. What a pity, what a pity. Chapter 4766. Who is it? The reaction of the Demon King was very fast. He instantly sensed that someone had come in. 2 black shadows appeared beside him. It was the 1,000 Demons warrior. They immediately pounced forward. One on the left and one on the right. The blade light flashed and the void was cut open. This was a good thing of the Demon King. He always carried it with him. At the critical moment, he would use his strongest force. This was the headquarters of the Dark Church. There really wasn't anyone who dared to cause trouble here, so the king of 10,000 fiends was very assured. After all, when he swaggered around in the past, there were many people who wanted to kill him. Now that he had become the eldest son of the Dark Church, it naturally saved him a lot of trouble. His strength could easily recover to the level of a 5-star heavenly god. If he was given some time, he would be able to reach the level of a 6-star heavenly god. At that time, there were only a few people in the entire dark church that he could take a fancy to. Only a few people could be his opponent. Only a few. He even wanted to take down the dark church. At that time, he could secretly control it and do whatever he wanted. At that time, it would be even easier to get the resentment bead. This was also what the Demon King comprehended. In the past, he was alone and did all kinds of things. As a result, he became the target of everyone's scorn. No one came out to help him. But now it was different. If he could control the huge dark church, he would naturally have more helpers. Originally, the dark church should have done some crooked things, but now they were restraining themselves everywhere. In the eyes of the Devil King, this was simply impossible. I said, "Why couldn't I find these two things at that time? I didn't expect you to take them back. It seems this time it will be much easier." Laughter floated over. 2 golden threads directly flew out and wrapped around the puppet warriors. These were the golden threads condensed by the great 5 elements technique. They were incomparably tough. This entanglement instantly rendered the 2 puppet warriors unable to move, and they were tightly bound. It was as if they were tied by a spider web. They instantly lost their fighting strength. The pupils of the Demon King slightly shrank, and he also stood up. He knew that he had met his match. He had easily taken down 2 of his puppet warriors. It should be known that the strength of these 2 puppet warriors had increased after a round of forging. They had both reached the peak of the 3-star Heaven God realm. Given a little more time, they would be able to reach the level of a 4-star Heaven God. At that time, his strength would increase by a large margin, but he never expected that he would be controlled by someone at this time. "It's you." The King of 10,000 Fiends finally saw who it was that came in. The intruder, Lin Fei. Wasn't he outside just now? How did he arrive at his mansion so quickly? And it was done in silence. Most importantly, he had easily taken down 2 of his 10,000 demon warriors. This was what the King of 10,000 Demons couldn't accept. "That's right, it's me. Haven't you always wanted to see me? That's why I came uninvited. Your days are getting better and better. You are now the eldest son of Dark Church. Compared to your previous life, where everyone wanted to beat you up, you are much better. Don't you think so?" The King of 10,000 Demons didn't dare to believe that this Lin Fei could find him so quickly. After seizing the body, he used a lot of secret techniques to seal all the methods that could be exposed. It could be said that unless it was a top powerhouse, no one would know about it. But the current scene really gave the King of 10,000 Demons a great shock. He was actually exposed. The other party found him just like that. He didn't know how this intruder, Lin Fei, found him, but no matter what, he was exposed. Then the only thing he could do was to kill this Lin Fei, or dig out the process of how he was exposed from his mouth. Only then could he continue to be the eldest son. Otherwise, once the news spread to the outside world, the leader of Dark Church would know that his eldest son was killed and his body was seized. That leader would definitely go all out against him. That leader of Dark Church was very powerful. Even the current King of 10,000 Demons was not his opponent. That's why he was very low-key. Even if his strength increased, he kept suppressing it. He didn't dare to expose himself. The voice of the King of 10,000 Demons was cold. "I don't know how you found this place, but since you came today, don't think of leaving this place." Swish, 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 swish. The surrounding formation instantly formed. In the blink of an eye, the surroundings of the 2 of them changed. It turned into an illusory world. Originally, I used this formation to deal with that leader of Dark Church, but I didn't expect that you would come in first. Then, welcome to my illusion. One figure after another walked out. Each figure was the King of 10,000 Demons. Their voices, aura, and strength were exactly the same. It made people unable to distinguish the real from the fake. That time you were lucky. This time, you really don't have any luck to speak of. Just obediently let me refine you and turn you into a puppet warrior so that you won't be able to reincarnate for the rest of your life. 100 King of 10,000 Demons made their move. A time spear appeared in Lin Fei's hand. Swish! It came out. The time spear directly pierced through the illusory figure and nailed the body of the king of 10,000 demons. The king of 10,000 demons didn't even have time to react and was directly pierced by the time spear. His pupils constricted and he didn't feel good. Time, since you control time. Damn it, how can you control time? This is a top-notch technique. Just now, the attack of the time spear made the king of 10,000 demons feel the flow of time. A part of it was forcibly taken away. He understood that this was the great Tao of time, the most terrifying technique. The king of 10,000 demons didn't expect that he would encounter such a fellow. Then you also know the time. Then have a taste of this time again. Lin Fei stretched out his hand and grasped, causing the river of time to land in his hand. It turned into a large saber and slashed out. This attack was the most terrifying because you couldn't block it at all. The treasure blocked in front of him and was instantly slashed. Then it landed on the king of 10,000 demons. The king of 10,000 demons' expression turned cold, and he felt that his face had become much paler. This blade had taken away a lot of his lifespan. He finally knew how terrifying time was. How did this fellow grasp such a top-notch technique? He actually offended such an expert. Voila! Another blade slashed over. The king of 10,000 demons couldn't block it as usual. Chapter 47:67. 2 slashes, and the king of 10,000 demon felt a terrifying chill. How could he have encountered such a powerful existence? Last time, he was so weak and was nearly killed by him. In the blink of an eye, he wasn't his match anymore. The king of 10,000 demon was about to collapse. This was the first time he had faced such a thing. Slow down, don't attack. 2 slashes, and the king of 10,000 demon didn't dare to be careless. If he were to receive a few more slashes, he would really die. He would be completely finished. Even if he had a high lifespan, he wouldn't be able to withstand such consumption. Lin Fei did stop. However, the river of time instantly turned into a meteor shower that came crashing down. Each strike instantly broke through all his so-called defenses. In front of time, there was no defense at all, unless you had a true treasure of time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to withstand the attacks of time. After a loud explosion, the king of 10,000 demon kept retreating. Although there weren't any injuries on his body, his face was getting whiter and whiter, and his aura was getting weaker and weaker. I give up, stop attacking. The king of 10,000 demons' small tricks couldn't fool Lin Fei at all. A time meteor shower attack was launched. It caused the king of 10,000 demons' heart to collapse. In just a short period of time, he took away so much lifespan. It made him regret offending such a person. At this moment, the king of 10,000 demon really didn't have any thoughts. He really couldn't beat this fellow in front of him. If it was any other method, the king of 10,000 demon might have some thoughts. But this was too difficult because he couldn't beat him at all, especially the Tao of time and Tao of space. Anyone who faced this would have a headache. Now you know how to behave. Lin Fei walked over. He wasn't afraid of what the king of 10,000 demon would think anymore. This fellow was panicking. Even if he was allowed to leave, he wouldn't dare to. The Tao of time wasn't a joke. Lin Fei casually sat down. I was wrong last time. I think you want the resentment beads. I have another batch of resentment beads with me. I can give them all to you, but please spare my life. The king of 10,000 fiends was quite smart. He took out a batch of grudge prayer beads without hesitation. Although the number of beads in this batch wasn't as large as the previous one, there were still 60 million resentment beads. If they were converted into hate points, that would be 6 billion hate points. Of course, for Lin Fei now, 6 billion hatred points was really nothing, but it could at least prove one thing. This king of demons still knew how to earn this resentment bead. It's not enough, it's too little. Is your life worth 60 million resentment thought beads? It's a far cry from what I expected. Of course, the king of 10,000 demons was a little clever. He naturally knew that Lin Fei's men were interested in the resentment prayer beads. He didn't sense any resentment from the other party at all, which meant that the other party had either given it away or used it for his own use. His methods were much more brilliant than his own. At the very least, the king of 10,000 fiends now had some resentment. Fortunately, the people of the Dark Church didn't have any resentment, so they naturally wouldn't be noticed. However, he really couldn't do what this invader, Lin Fei, had done. This guy was simply too powerful. When he heard that the resentment prayer beads weren't enough, the king of 10,000 fiends' heart thumped. He had a feeling that something bad was about to happen. Could it be that the other party really came for him, or for the resentment prayer beads? It really wasn't easy to get the resentment prayer beads in this world. But for the king of 10,000 fiends, it wasn't difficult. He had already figured out a whole set of procedures. It was just that there were too few people. If there was some help, the efficiency would be even faster. How about I help you get a batch of resentment prayer beads, and then you let me go? I won't find trouble with you anymore in the future. Scram as far as you can. As long as you're there, I won't appear. This was the only way the king of 10,000 fiends could think of. No matter what, he had to survive first. At least the other party wasn't ruthless. Otherwise, he would be dead for sure. In front of the grand Tao of time, he really couldn't withstand it. What made the king of 10,000 fiends feel the most despair was that the other party's 5 elements divine ability was also very powerful. Even now, his puppet warrior had not managed to break free and was tightly entangled. At the beginning, he didn't know what it was, but after observing for a while, he understood. It was actually a rope-like attack formed by the combination of 5 kinds of forces. Although this method didn't have any power, it was really very good to use it to confine people. Even the king of 10,000 fiends himself wouldn't be able to break free in a short time if he encountered this method. He really didn't know what other methods this intruder Lin Fei had. What you said is very nice. Actually, when I first came here, I wanted to kill you. After all, you let me experience what is called danger. But then I thought that killing you would be too easy, so I decided to capture you and make you work for me for 500 years. Hearing that he was going to be killed, the king of 10,000 fiends' heart skipped a beat. He didn't doubt that the other party would really kill him. Hearing the latter part of the words, he felt as if he had been pardoned. I have never felt such a good feeling of surviving. In 500 years, the only thing you have to do is to help me collect resentment prayer beads or faith beads. If you do it well, maybe this 500 years will become 300 or 200 years. It might not necessarily depend on you. There is nothing better than this to make the king of 10,000 fiends feel good. He could finally live and no longer have to worry about anything. Thank you for sparing my life. I am willing to work for you and collect resentment prayer beads. I feel that if I want more resentment prayer beads, I have to take down this dark church and completely control it. That way, it will be easier to collect resentment prayer beads. Just as Lin Fei finished speaking, the king of 10,000 fiends began to speak in a very bootlicking manner. He raised his hand. A special runes was directly shot into the king of 10,000 fiends' body. The king of 10,000 fiends also discovered that there was a strange force in his body. In the face of this strange force, he actually felt the threat of death. This is a small trick I gave you. Change it once every 100 years. If you don't change it within 100 years, you will explode. Even if your body is strong and invincible, you won't be able to withstand it. Chapter 47:68. Lin Fei had already taken down the king of 10,000 devil, but he knew in his heart that this fellow wasn't so well behaved. Hence, he used this method on him. This wasn't an ordinary technique. It was an imprint that Lin Fei had fused together using a special technique. As long as this fellow dared to be dishonest, he would be able to turn him into ashes with a single thought. This imprint wasn't so easy to remove. He believed that the king of 10,000 devil would definitely be able to see through it. At that time, he would be well behaved. 500 years wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. The king of 10,000 devil knew that the imprint in his body was extremely terrifying and filled with a dangerous aura. No matter how powerful he was, he had no idea what to do in front of this imprint. He completely resigned himself to his fate. At the very least, he was still alive. It was simply too easy for Lin Fan to kill him. The great Tao of time slashed after slash, reaping his lifespan. He wouldn't be able to withstand too many slashes. This kind of blade technique couldn't be blocked at all because one didn't have a certain level of ability. Unless one had a true treasure of time or an extremely strong body, there was no hope at all. This was something he knew better than anyone else. At this time, there was nothing wrong with being well-behaved. After taking down the king of 10,000 devil, Lin Fei didn't care about other small matters. What was left was how to return to the outside world. After all, everything here was basically resolved. But before that, there was one more thing that Lin Fei had to do. How could he guarantee that he would be able to obtain these resentment thought beads? This was the most important thing. If he couldn't obtain them, then he would be helpless. It was impossible for Lin Fei to come here all the time, right? How could that be possible? Hence, he had to find out if there were any treasures or things related to this. You also know that I am an invader who came from the outside world. Help me collect the resentment thought beads. Do you think there's any way to send them to me? Think carefully before you say anything. If there's no way, then there's no point for me to keep you alive. I'll just send you to the heavens with a slash. Lin Fei's words were neither light nor heavy, but to the 10,000 Devil King, it was like a saber reaping his life. His heart sank as his countenance turned pale. Sweat started to drip down. He really couldn't sit still anymore. He had originally thought that he would be able to survive after being captured by the other party and being controlled by the imprint. A bad life was better than a good death. Everyone understood this sentence. But now, the king of 10,000 devils discovered that there was something wrong with his situation. How could this be? He kept telling himself in his heart, don't worry, you can definitely think of a way. You can definitely think of a way. Lin Fei smiled at the king of 10,000 fiends. He felt that this guy would definitely be able to come up with a solution. After all, this guy was an old monster who had lived for so long. Otherwise, it wouldn't have turned into a situation where everyone wanted to kill him. Naturally, they would know more things. Just wait for his reply. If he really couldn't answer, then Lin Fan could only kill him. Anyway, it wouldn't be good if he stayed here and lost contact with him. I thought of a place. Maybe Master can go there and have an unexpected harvest. This place is called Eternal Paradise. After thinking for a while, the king of 10,000 devils finally thought of a place. But when he mentioned these words, even his heart trembled. Have you heard of what Eternal Paradise is? Tell me about it. If it was any other place, it would be fine. But in this place, Lin Fei really didn't know much about it. When he heard the words Eternal Paradise, he felt that it was quite high and mighty. So he wanted to hear what the king of 10,000 devils had to say about it. This Eternal Paradise is a special place. It is considered unique in our world. This Eternal Paradise is a trade association. You can buy many things from this trade association. However, it is too difficult to enter Eternal Paradise. Even I don't have the qualifications to enter. Back then, I only heard that such a place existed. Lin Fei's face sank slightly. What you said is equivalent to wasting your breath. If you can't find a place to enter, then how can I enter? When he heard it just now, Lin Fei was indeed quite interested in this Eternal Paradise, especially the place that sold things. There were definitely some good things there. However, it seemed that this Eternal Paradise was very difficult to find. Wait a minute. I heard that this Eternal Paradise has an Eternal Paradise seal outside. As long as you have this thing, you can enter. However, there is another way. That is to burst out with the strength of a 7-star celestial god. Then you can enter and join in. The king of 10,000 devils said hurriedly. Lin Fei was a little surprised. This place was so amazing that only 7-star celestial gods could enter for free. One could even join this eternal paradise. This was quite a big deal. At least, Lin Fei had never heard of this eternal paradise. However, he had heard of the Eternal Trade Association. Is this eternal paradise easy to find? With Lin Fei's current strength, if he used it, he should be at the level of a 7-star celestial god. This would be a little high profile. So, Lin Fei wanted to see if there was an eternal paradise seal. If there was such a thing, it couldn't be better. That way he could keep a low profile. After all, being too high profile sometimes wasn't a good thing. This eternal paradise seal is very rare in the outside world. I don't know who has it. However, I know the specific location of eternal paradise. Master will definitely be able to find it. With master strength, you will naturally be able to enter easily. The king of 10,000 devils was also feeling a little guilty. After all, this eternal paradise seal was too rare. Even if one appeared, it would be put away. This was because only with an eternal paradise seal could one buy what they wanted in eternal paradise. Since the king of 10,000 devils said that Lin Fei could naturally hear that the king of 10,000 devils was afraid of this eternal paradise, one could imagine how mysterious this place was. It actually required the strength of a 7-star celestial god to enter. Lin Fei didn't have anything to do, so he decided to take a look at the situation first. Then lead the way. Let me see what this eternal heaven is all about. To think it would make such a huge request. A requirement like this was really quite high in this world. So far, the powerful ones that Lin Fei had met were only at the level of a 5-star demon god. 7-star demon gods were really too rare. He had to take a look. Chapter 47:69. Lin Fei was quite interested in this eternal paradise island. No matter what, he had to take a look first. The king of 10,000 demons didn't dare to stop and just continued to lead the way. Stop and stop. Stop and stop. Lin Fei didn't say anything. He knew better than anyone that the king of 10,000 demons definitely hadn't been to eternal paradise before. He probably heard about it. As for the exact location, he should be able to find it. But it would take some time. Lin Fei wasn't in a rush. Right now, he didn't have much else but time. So, as long as he could find the general location, he would be able to find eternal paradise. He passed through countless worlds and came to the end. He reached the end. In front of him was a vast island. Many islands stood in great numbers, looking very different from the rest. After arriving here, the king of 10,000 demons' expression became much more solemn. He said softly, "This is the end of our world. It is called Endless Island. Eternal Paradise is on one of the islands, but I can't find the exact location." The king of 10,000 demons lowered his head, feeling really awkward and helpless. It wasn't easy to find this place. There were only a few people who knew where Eternal Paradise Island was. When he arrived here, Lin Fei knew that the king of 10,000 demons definitely wouldn't be able to find the exact location. If he had that ability, he wouldn't be the king of 10,000 demons. Otherwise, why would he be chased and beaten by everyone like a rat on the street? It was good enough that he knew the general location. This kind of secret could only be known by those at the top level. At least you have some ability. Otherwise, I would have killed you with one blade. There's no point in keeping you. The king of 10,000 demons finally heaved a sigh of relief. At least the Lord wasn't angry, otherwise he would have been killed. That would have been really pitiful. Lin Fei also saw that there were many islands in front of him. These islands weren't ordinary. After taking a closer look, Lin Fei's lips curled up. This endless island was a super grand array. These islands were not ordinary islands. At first glance, they looked very ordinary, but in reality, they were all connected together. If someone forced their way in, the situation would be different. This seemed to be a super big maze. Perhaps this was a test. Lin Fei couldn't help but smile. It was indeed a different place. Today he could explore the endless island. Follow behind me and don't run around. Otherwise, if you die here, I won't care. It's quite interesting for a dignified king of 10,000 demons to die here. The king of 10,000 demons sucked in a breath of cold air. He shuddered all over his body. He really couldn't believe it. He obediently followed behind Lin Fei. Just like that, he entered Endless Island. In the past, I heard people say that this Endless Island is a dangerous place. Once one enters, one basically can't leave, unless one obtains their recognition. Otherwise, one would just be a corpse here. The king of 10,000 demons, who had been following behind, sized up the surroundings. Even if he didn't do anything, he could sense the cold aura around. It was really dangerous, and he didn't dare to have any thoughts at all. He stayed close to Lin Fei, not daring to leave for even a moment. He didn't expect that the king of 10,000 demons would have such a day. On this endless island, he had such thoughts and such fear. Fortunately, there was an adult in front of him, which made him heave a sigh of relief. If he was alone, he wouldn't have dared to come in at all. Lin Fei flew above Endless Island. Walala, walala. From time to time, techniques would appear. One wouldn't be able to defend it all, and they would appear just like that. If normal people entered, they would be wiped out in the blink of an eye. Lin Fei didn't feel much about it. It was quite interesting. I didn't expect this endless island to be so interesting. The king of 10,000 demons didn't think so. Wave after wave of attacks came at him. It was really displeasing. Let me find out where eternal paradise is. Lin Fei squinted his eyes. The great karma technique was activated. The moment it was activated, many threads of karma appeared. To Lin Fei, finding a place was not difficult. After all, he had the great karma art. That was another wonderful use. No matter who it was, everyone had karma on them. There were big and small ones, and normal people wouldn't know about karma. But when it came to Lin Fei, even karma was revealed. It really wasn't hard to find this eternal paradise island. Along the way, there were many big and small WeChat messages. Lin Fei avoided all of them. Roughly 2 hours later, his eyes squinted. Jin Guang flashed in his eyes. I finally found you. This time, Lin Fei finally found a place that was different. This was a very inconspicuous island. No one would care about this island. It was really normal. It was really normal and low profile. Lin Fei was sure that eternal paradise was here and there wouldn't be any surprises. The king of 10,000 devils also followed. He didn't see anything special about this place, but he believed that there would be something special here. Come out. Lin Fei punched out with a single punch. The power of this punch was like a single point of light that tore apart the void. At that moment, a door appeared on the island, faintly discernible. Even Lin Fei couldn't tell how this door appeared. It could be seen that this involved multiple dimensions. After all, the space Tao was really mysterious. No one dared to say that they had truly grasped the space Tao. Even Lin Fei was the same. For example, he grasped the time Tao, but he only grasped the surface. It was said that the truly terrifying ones could use the time Tao to travel between the past and the future. That was truly terrifying. Killing enemies in the river of time was something that Lin Fei could not do at the moment. He was far from being able to do so. He only grasped the surface, and the space Tao was the same. Lin Fei brought the king of 10,000 demons and entered the door. The moment he entered, he noticed that he was standing on a platform. This was a circular platform, and in front of him appeared a number of platforms. Instead, it was just a platform that floated over. It appeared in front of Lin Fei. An illusory figure appeared on the platform. Welcome to Eternal Paradise. Please show me your Eternal Paradise seal or show me your 7-star demon god strength. Otherwise, you will be killed. The voice wasn't loud and had no emotions at all. It was just a refined existence. The king of 10,000 demons could sense the killing intent within. He would really be killed. Chapter 4770. As soon as the phantom appeared, Lin Fei instantly sensed danger. This was an expert, a top expert. No wonder even the king of 10,000 demons was so afraid of this place. To be honest, that was really the case. The faint voice was filled with an endless sense of danger. As long as Lin Fei's strength didn't reach the strength of this 7-star demon god, he would naturally be attacked by the phantom. Or rather, he would be eliminated and completely miss the chance to enter eternal paradise. I don't have the eternal paradise seal, but my strength should have reached the level of a 7-star demon god. I wonder if there is any assessment method. If there is, please take it out. I'm ready to challenge it. Lin Fei said very directly. He knew that this phantom should be very smart. Maybe it was specially refined by a super expert. It was used to guard the door. Just look at the king of 10,000 demons next to it. This guy's courage wasn't as big as he imagined. Previously, he was arrogant and despotic outside, and even dug a super big hole. But in front of this phantom, he was very obedient. At the same time, in a small palace in eternal paradise, there were 2 people sitting here. These 2 people were very ordinary, but under this ordinary appearance, they had strength that everyone felt was unattainable. That was the strength of a 7-star demon god. They were leisurely drinking tea, and in front of them appeared a screen, which could be called a sky screen. He could clearly see the situation outside. Just now, someone had barged in. I didn't expect that someone would come to eternal paradise again. It's not easy. I think this kid doesn't have the eternal paradise seal, but his strength is a little lacking. Even you think so. Even you think so. I feel that this brat is a little different. Do you recognize the person beside him? Maybe you can't, but I can. He's the king of 10,000 devils. I didn't think that this fellow would actually become his follower. It wasn't easy for him. I'm afraid he must have suffered a lot. No way, this guy is the king of 10,000 demons. I heard that he used to shout about killing people, but I was too lazy to care. Who would have thought that he would become his follower? This kid has some ability. Our eternal paradise hasn't had a newcomer in a long time. Let's take a good look. Both of them were 7-star demon gods. Of course, they were very mysterious existences in this world. Without reaching a certain level of strength, it was impossible to come into contact with the circle of 7-star fiend celestials. So you're here to participate in the challenge. As you wish, but you only have one chance. If you miss this chance, you'll never be able to come to eternal paradise again. The phantom said. Lin Fei nodded. I only need one chance. As for the other chances, I don't need them at all. I have enough strength to pass your test. The phantom didn't say anything, then follow me. You can either keep the person beside you, or I'll send him out. What's your choice? With a wave of his hand, Lin Fei let the king of 10,000 devils enter his heavenly grotto world. His own world could also be used to keep people. In the blink of an eye, the king of 10,000 devils was kept. Lin Fei followed the phantom in. He brought Lin Fei to a public square. Naturally, this public square was completely silent. There was basically no one around. However, the moment Lin Fei arrived, he could feel that something was amiss. This is the arena you'll be challenging. When the time comes, we'll bring out a puppet warrior. As long as you can defeat it, you'll become a member of eternal paradise. If you fail, you'll either be eliminated or killed by the puppet warrior. You better be mentally prepared. In the arena, after a burst of starlight gathered, a puppet warrior had appeared. The moment this puppet warrior appeared, Lin Fei could feel how powerful this puppet warrior was. It was filled with arrogance and invincibility. Just by standing there casually, it actually had the strength of a 6-star demon god. Moreover, it was a great expert in close combat. No wonder it was said that eternal paradise was so difficult to enter. I'm quite interested in this. I also want to see how strong this puppet warrior is. Or is it because I'm stronger? Lin Fei laughed and directly went into the arena. In the arena, the puppet warrior didn't take the initiative to attack. Instead, a halo of light appeared around the arena, forming a spirit array. The energy waves that isolated everything. Then the puppet warrior instantly moved. It didn't move at all. The blade Flash Shadow arrived. This was a guy who specialized in close combat. He used a saber. This saber was the most common saber. Of course, this saber technique was also very ordinary. But such a saber was filled with the power of a 6-star demon god. The void was instantly cut open by the saber. It fell directly on Lin Fei. This saber was extremely fast. Before this, Lin Fei had also encountered some people who were strong and fast in close combat. He didn't expect this puppet warrior to be stronger than he had imagined. The saber almost reached his chest. If it was someone who wasn't strong, he would be seriously injured or defeated by this saber. Sure enough, a 6-star demon god wasn't that easy to deal with. Lin Fei's great 5 elements technique appeared directly. It blocked in front of him. It had become a super big shield. There was a rumbling sound. The great 5 elements shield collapsed directly. The next second, it quickly condensed and then collapsed again. In the end, it was still blocked. A great 5 elements shield formed by the convergence of 5 forces. This guy is quite capable. He actually withstood a saber. He does have some capital. I just don't know how strong his attack is. If his attack is not strong enough, it will be a little difficult to defeat this puppet warrior. The 2 7-star demon god experts, who were drinking tea, looked at each other. Their eyes lit up. It was not easy for such a powerful guy to appear. After all, in their opinion, the defense of the great 5 elements shield alone was enough to prove that this guy was extremely strong. Lin Fei didn't display the Great Way of Time. It should be known that the Great Way of Time was his strongest ability. Therefore, he would hide it if he could. At this moment, it was a super killer move. It was definitely a gift that made people feel desperate. It could often catch people off guard. Lin Fei's 5 elements technique formed a shield around him, and a loud rumbling sound rang out. The power of the great 5 elements turned into a meteor shower the size of a fist and smashed down with a rumbling sound. The power of the great 5 elements meteor shower was extremely powerful because Lin Fei's strength had reached its peak. Chapter 4771. This meteor shower was something that the puppet warrior couldn't resist at all. This was because the power of the meteor shower was getting stronger and stronger, one after another. It was vast and mighty. There was no other way other than to take it head on. This was also the best attack that Lin Fei could think of. He didn't need to do anything at all. He didn't even need to use the power of time. The meteor shower alone was enough to make the puppet warrior feel the pressure of a mountain. After a loud, rumbling sound, the puppet warrior was unable to hold on any longer, and its tough body was pierced through, leaving behind many holes. Then the puppet warrior disappeared, and the puppet warrior's silhouette reappeared. It was the same person from the beginning. Congratulations on defeating the puppet warrior. This proves that you have the ability of a 7-star demon god. You are now a junior member of Eternal Paradise. Although Lin Fei had made it look simple, the puppet warrior was actually quite strong. Only a 7-star demon god could defeat it. Even a 6-star wouldn't be able to. One would never know the power of the puppet warrior without fighting it. After obtaining the junior member of Eternal Paradise, Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. Even the assessment was so strict. One could only imagine how many treasures there were inside. Although it was just a junior member, Lin Fei didn't think too much about it. This is your identification as a member of Eternal Paradise. In the future, with this identification, you can enter any branch of Eternal Paradise. This is a branch of Eternal Paradise. The virtual figure took out an identity token. This identity token was quite interesting. After taking a look at it, Lin Fei proceeded to refine it. After refining it, a large amount of information surged in. Instantly, he had a certain understanding of eternal paradise. In eternal paradise, one could buy a lot of things. Of course, one had to have a certain amount of contribution points. This surprised Lin Fei a little. Originally, he thought that after becoming a member of eternal paradise, he would be able to obtain some good items. Now, however, it seemed that he had been overthinking things. If he wanted these items, he would have to earn contribution points. Lin Fei decided to take a look first. If there were really things that he was interested in, then it wouldn't be difficult to obtain contribution points. In any case, the most important thing for Lin Fei now was to increase his strength. Completing missions and completing contribution points, then buying the things that one wanted was a very normal thing to do. No effort, no gain. Lin Fei had always acknowledged this point. The distribution of eternal paradise wasn't very big. It was already introduced in the message, but when Lin Fei came over, there were still a few figures flying out. As soon as these figures came over, they cupped their hands and greeted Lin Fei. I heard that there is a newcomer today. I am Demon God Tian Shui. Nice to meet you. I think you must be an invader from the outside world. I didn't expect you to be a part of eternal paradise. I am Triple Kill Demon God. These people were very friendly. They didn't have the aura of a 7-star demon god. However, Lin Fei knew that they were very strong. He didn't expect them to come over and greet him. Lin Fei smiled and said, I am the newcomer, Lin Fei. Nice to meet you all. Lin Fei also understood what was going on. They must have seen it when he was taking the test just now. After all, the strength that he had displayed was very strong. Naturally, they would have some ideas. Let's get to know each other first. There was nothing wrong with that. After Lin Fei greeted them for a while, he headed towards a palace. This was the only palace in Eternal Paradise. It was called Eternal Paradise Palace. Naturally, there would be things that Lin Fei wanted in this palace. After entering, this was a huge hall. However, there were many treasures floating in the hall. These treasures were wrapped up in a ball of light. He could also feel the seals on the surface of this ball of light. These powers were very strong. Even if he wanted to break these seals now, he would feel that it was very difficult. Lin Fei also understood why there were so many treasures in this place, even though there weren't many people. It wouldn't be so easy to take them away. It was probably set up by a real super expert. At the very least, he must have surpassed the level of a demon god. Welcome, newcomer, to Eternal Paradise Palace. There are some treasures sealed in these light balls. I don't know what treasures you are looking for. I can help you investigate. A ray of starlight gathered and formed a figure. Lin Fei's heart skipped a beat. He didn't expect there to be an equipment spirit here. That's right. This illusory figure was formed by the equipment spirit. If it wasn't for the equipment spirit, not everyone would be able to see these light balls. I'm Lin Fei, who just joined Eternal Paradise. I'm quite interested in treasures. I want to know if there's a treasure that can allow me to travel between two realms. Lin Fei really wanted a treasure that could allow him to travel between two realms quickly. This was the only way he could get the resentment bead at all times. He didn't want to wait for a period of time to get it. This was very bad for Lin Fei. This would affect the growth of his strength. If it wasn't for the fact that the system didn't have these things, Lin Fei wouldn't have found this place. A treasure that can allow me to travel between two realms? Are you sure you want this thing? The artifact spirit asked once more. Lin Fei nodded. Yes, I want this treasure that can allow me to travel between two realms. Can you find it? Please wait a moment. I'll help you check. The equipment spirit quickly dispersed. Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry. After all, a treasure that could allow him to travel between two realms wasn't that easy to find. It would be best if he could find it. If he couldn't, it didn't matter. At most, he could find another way. Lin Fei was still quite calm. Even if he was in a hurry, there was nothing he could do. After all, this thing wasn't that easy to obtain. After some time, The equipment spirit reappeared with an illusory, heavenly book in his hand. Lin Fei didn't need to guess to know that this heavenly book should be a table of contents. The equipment spirit should have gone to get this table of contents. It would be able to know if there was a treasure like this in the first place. If you want a treasure that can allow you to travel between two realms, we just happen to have one here. This treasure is called the Cloud Gathering Shuttle. This treasure costs a lot of contribution points. It requires 1 million contribution points. 1 million contribution points didn't sound like a lot, but Lin Fei knew that it was a huge number. One had to know that completing a small mission would only cost a few hundred contribution points. At most, it would cost 2,000. That was considered a lot. 1 million contribution points wasn't cheap. It was quite expensive. Chapter 4772. If it was a few 100,000 contribution points, Lin Fei wouldn't care at all. At most, he would just be a little busy. However, it was a different story if it was 1 million contribution points. This wasn't something that could be obtained by completing dozens of missions. This wasn't good news for Lin Fei. It was really difficult to exchange 1 million contribution points for a cloud gathering shuttle. However, this cloud gathering shuttle was extremely attractive to Lin Fei. With this thing, he could travel between the two realms. It would be much more convenient then. Therefore, 1 million contribution points wasn't considered expensive. It was too useful for Lin Fei. He had to get this cloud gathering shuttle no matter what. Then, can I know what missions can give me tens of thousands of contribution points or hundreds of thousands of contribution points at once? Lin Fei was smart enough to ask directly. The item spirit took out another heavenly book, and a sky screen appeared in front of Lin Fei. Missions appeared on the sky screen one after another. There were also asterisks at the end of the missions. Interesting Books Pavilion, there were missions ranging from the lowest 1 star to 9 stars. After completing each mission, one could obtain a certain amount of contribution points. If you want to obtain tens of thousands of contribution points or more than 100,000 contribution points at once, you have to choose missions that are at least 7 stars. The item spirit didn't explain in detail, but Lin Fei understood. The requirements of this mission were a little high, so it wasn't easy to obtain contribution points. Can I take a look at this catalog? Or should I say, how can I obtain this catalog? How can I accept these missions? Lin Fei had already made up his mind. He had to get this cloud gathering shuttle no matter what. He had to get this 1 million contribution points, even though it would be a little troublesome and stressful. In Lin Fei's opinion, it was all worth it. With this cloud gathering shuttle, his strength would increase even faster. After all, the King of Demons was quite capable. If he stayed here or somewhere else, he would naturally be able to obtain more resentment prayer beads. This world is much more terrifying than you can imagine. There were even 7-star fiend gods. As for the 8-star demon god or the 9 stars demon god, Lin Fei would have to reconsider. After going to the Immortal World Cage before, Lin Fei realized that this place was definitely not as simple as he had imagined. Or rather, it was very terrifying. You can directly check over there. Once you see a mission, you can accept it. Since it's your first time accepting a mission, there will be no fees, and you don't need to pay any deposit, also known as contribution points. After a while, Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This eternal paradise was quite interesting. Accepting quests required a certain amount of contribution points. 4 high-level missions. He still had to put down a portion of his contribution points. If they couldn't complete it, it would be deducted. Wasn't this forcing them to risk their lives to complete this task? He didn't hate her, but he didn't like her either. After all, there was no bonus. In any case, Lin Fei had finally found a way. Right now, the most important thing was how to collect the 1 million contribution points. Lin Fei had to look around. Not far away, Lin Fei saw a directory. From 1-star missions to 9 stars missions, they were all neatly listed. These missions were huge. No wonder it was so hard to enter this eternal paradise. Some of these missions were easy, while others were hard. Even after looking at them, Lin Fei felt a little pressured. Of course, Lin Fei wasn't interested in the missions at the beginning. Soon, he had his eyes on the 7-star missions. If he wanted to obtain more contribution points, the best way was to accept 7-star missions. However, these 7-star missions made Lin Fei suck in a breath of cold air. One was harder than the other, even though Lin Fei had quite a number of trump cards and even grasped the Tao of Time. These missions were extremely difficult. These missions were also extremely difficult. He finally understood why the lowest 7-star mission could reward 10,000 contribution points. It was indeed very different from the previous ones. There were all kinds of missions. Lin Fei was dazzled by the number of missions available. From 7 stars to 8 stars, there were far fewer missions. At the very least, there weren't as many 8-star missions as there were 7-star missions. And each of these missions could reward at least tens of thousands of contribution points. When it came to 9 stars, each mission could reward more than 100,000 contribution points. Lin Fei also knew that if he wanted to complete the missions quickly, he might really have to start from these 9 stars missions. As he had just joined Eternal Paradise and became a beginner member, he naturally didn't need any contribution points to accept the missions. It was considered a bargain. For many people, they would only choose the active missions, such as 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star. But for Lin Fei, since the first time was free, he definitely had to choose the missions with high contribution points. Lin Fei directly started from 9 stars missions. His mastery of the Tao of Time was more advantageous than anyone else. This was also one of the reasons why Lin Fei was so confident. Of course, his leisurely leveling system was another matter. Specializing in killing people won't do. It's too troublesome. This Explore Secret Land is okay, but this secret seems a little dangerous. Lin Fei looked over one by one. There weren't many 9 stars missions. At a glance, there were less than 109 stars missions. In Lin Fei's opinion, there weren't even 109 stars missions. Looking at the previous 7 stars missions, there were easily thousands, and there were also hundreds of 8 stars missions. Compared to the pile of 9 stars missions, there were indeed a lot less. 9 stars mission, Explore Miracle City. Lin Fei quickly noticed the last mission. It was the 9 stars mission, Explore Miracle City. He didn't know much about this Miracle City and had never even heard of it. But the contribution points directly reached 800,000, and Lin Fei was really a little tempted. 800,000 contribution points wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a small amount either. Compared to the other missions that easily had tens of thousands of contribution points, this mission was indeed easier to look at. He didn't need to do anything, just explore a miracle city. Miracle City, a special world. There are often miracles here, but there are also all kinds of deaths. There was a series of introductions, and there was only one conclusion, which was that this miracle city was very amazing. Very amazing. As long as one explored the miracle city inside and created a complete map, they would be able to obtain 200,000 to 800,000 contribution points. In other words, no one had been able to come out of this miracle city alive. No wonder it was 800,000 contribution points. Chapter 47-73. Lin Fei accepted the Miracle City decisively. Although it was a 9 stars mission, he should be able to explore it a little. Otherwise, where could he get hundreds of thousands of contribution points? After coming out of the hall, Lin Fei saw 2 figures waiting for him outside. These 2 figures were 7-star demon gods. Lin Fei soon learned their names. Brother Lin Fei, it looks like you've accepted a quest here. I wonder if you have the time to sit down and have a chat with me. The 7-star demon god who spoke was called Demon God Watercloud. He had a smile on his face and looked harmless. It's rare for a newcomer to come here. You are considered a newcomer, so I can give you some advice. What mission did you accept? After all, This world is much more dangerous than you think. The arrival of the two 7-star demon gods surprised Lin Fei a little. If there were no surprises, the two of them should have their own thoughts and objectives. Lin Fei did not care much. After all, his strength was there for all to see. To them, he was still of great value. It was very normal for them to wait for him outside. I indeed just accepted a mission. Both of you are seniors, so you can give me some advice. The two 7-star demon gods heaved a sigh of relief when they heard that. After all, this newcomer was very strong and had a promising future. It was the best time to get to know him. Therefore, the three of them left together and came to a small palace in Eternal Paradise. There were quite a few small palaces like this. As long as one had a certain amount of contribution points, one could cultivate in these small palaces. They could even stay here for a long time. It was very safe and could be considered a safe place. The three of them sat under a pavilion. Demon god Watercloud brewed a pot of tea. The tea was very fragrant and unusual. After taking a sip, one would feel as if his whole body was frozen. However, this feeling was very refreshing. This is iced tea. Generally speaking, people with poor physiques really can't take it and can only drink half a cup. It's really rare to see someone like you who can drink it for a lifetime. Demon god Watercloud laughed and took a small sip. His impression of Lin Fei deepened. Lin Fei was not polite at all. He poured himself another cup and gulped it down. His whole body recovered in a short while. Good tea, really good tea. Compared to you, the treatment I enjoy is much worse. The two fiend gods laughed out loud. He put down the teacup. I don't know what kind of missions you've accepted this time. Can you talk to us? In this great world, we are considered old people. Lin Fei nodded. Why not? I just wanted to ask the two of you. I've accepted a 9 stars mission. Demon god Watercloud and the other fiend god beside him looked at each other and gave him a thumbs up. You're quite impressive. You've accepted a 9 stars mission right off the bat. If I was as smart as you back then, it wouldn't have been so difficult to cultivate at the beginning. When this matter was mentioned, Demon god Watercloud felt bitter tears rolling down his cheeks. Back then, when he became a junior member of Eternal Paradise, he accepted a 3 stars mission with a safe attitude. In the end, he wasted an opportunity and didn't get many contribution points. The next few years were really tough. Now that he heard that Lin Fei had accepted a 9 stars mission right from the start, he was filled with admiration. His quick thinking was really different. Anyway, I don't need to pay much. I'll just take it as a try. My mission is to explore Miracle City. Therefore, I want to know what kind of background Miracle City has. Demon god Watercloud and the other fiend gods' expressions changed when they heard this. They didn't care much about other places, but Miracle City was really different. Good lad, you're really bold. You actually accepted the 9-star mission, Miracle City. That place is a place where you can't return from. The water cloud demon god didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If this was any other place, perhaps it would be fine, or he could even give some advice. But if it was the Miracle City, then forget it. He really couldn't get out once he went in. Demon god Lai Shan also chimed in. That's true. That place is really dangerous. Anyone who goes there will suffer a lot. You have to be mentally prepared. Otherwise, you can give up on this 9 stars mission. Lin Fei didn't expect that when he accepted a 9 stars mission, the 2 7-star demon gods would have a drastic change in their expressions and advise him not to go. One could imagine how extraordinary the Miracle City was. The more it was like this, the more Lin Fei wanted to explore the Miracle City, the more he wanted to. After all, it was worth hundreds of thousands of merit points. Whether he could get the Luo Yunxua depended on these hundreds of thousands of merit points. As long as he got the merit points, the rest would be very simple. At most, he would just have to complete 1 or 2 more missions. Lin Fei didn't think there was any problem with this. If it's really that dangerous, then it's no wonder no one accepts this mission. It's worth hundreds of thousands of merit points. Demon God Watercloud and Demon God Lai Shan burst into laughter. It's because it's too dangerous. Basically, no one who goes there can come out. I heard that the Miracle City comes without any warning. In our words, the Miracle City is a battlefield. There are some tricks left behind by some top experts. Once, an 8-star demon god went in and was instantly killed by a force. Since then, no one has dared to go in casually. This was really big news for Lin Fei. He knew about the battlefield. It was indeed dangerous. He didn't expect it to be so dangerous. His physical body seemed to be lacking a little bit. It would be great if he could improve it further. After all, his infinite divine body had only reached a certain level. It hadn't reached the highest level yet. Fortunately, there's no time limit for the Miracle City mission to explore the 9 stars. You don't have to go. Of course, you can also wait until you're stronger. Of course, if you want to earn merit points in addition to accepting missions, we can actually use it to trade or complete various things in private. I just don't know if you're interested. Lin Fei seemed to understand why these 2 7-star demon gods came to find him. That should be their goal. However, it sounded quite interesting. Chapter 4774. Actually, Lin Fei's guess was not far off. The reason why Demon God Watercloud and Demon God Lai Shan came was very simple. It was to invite him. I wonder if Brother Lin Fei is interested in joining our humble sect. Demon God Watercloud spoke first. Lin Fei knew it would be like this. They were definitely here to invite him. After all, it was not easy to meet a 7-star demon god. If one appeared, they would definitely be roped in. Lin Fei even felt that Demon God Watercloud and Demon God Lai Shan's purpose in coming to Eternal Paradise was very simple. They were looking for newcomers. If a newcomer like Lin Fei was roped into a faction, his strength would be greatly improved. Our humble sect doesn't have any rules. It is just a casual organization where everyone gathers together to exchange experiences and insights, or to complete some missions to explore mystic realms together. Demon God Watercloud began to introduce again. No matter what, this humble sect sounded more relaxed and free. Lin Fei wasn't too interested in joining a faction, but it was a different story if he joined a relatively idle faction. Without too many rules and constraints, Lin Fei was quite happy to join such a place. At the very least, he could exchange some insights and experiences. Thank you for your invitation, Demon God Watercloud. I'll have to think about it first. Lin Fei didn't agree immediately. For an invitation like this, he had to think about it and investigate it first. Demon God Watercloud laughed. You really have to think about it carefully. You can contact me when you've thought it through. You can send messages to anyone with your identity in Eternal Paradise. But before that, we have to add each other as friends first. After sitting idly for a while, Lin Fei stood up and left. To him, he had achieved his goal in coming to Eternal Paradise. He wasn't in a hurry to leave Eternal Paradise. Instead, he booked a small palace. He would stay there for a period of time first. There was a lot of information in Eternal Paradise. As a newcomer, Lin Fei was qualified to read through this information. Lin Fei decided to look through the information first. After all, there weren't many opportunities like this. The King of 10,000 Fiends was also released by Lin Fei. This guy had been well-behaved the moment he came out. Especially after knowing that he was in Eternal Paradise, he had his tail tucked between his legs. Who didn't know that these were all 7-star demon god experts? One look, one action, and he would be killed. Lin Fei stayed here for half a month and went through all the information. At the same time, he also joined this poor family. In this world, it could be considered a relatively strong organization. Moreover, this organization had a relatively good reputation. There was no coercion. Lin Fei also joined in. The happiest ones were none other than Demon God Watercloud and Demon God Lai Shan. Another expert was dragged in. Lin Fei hadn't gone to this poor family yet. But it didn't prevent him from knowing a lot of things through this poor family, especially about this place called Miracle City. It was really very dangerous. If he wasn't careful, he would die here. No matter who mentioned Miracle City, no one would have the guts to go there. Lin Fei decided to go to the vicinity of Miracle City to take a look at the situation first. Before that, Lin Fei still had one thing to do. That was to send the king of 10,000 fiends away. He had to collect the resentment thought beads first. Resentment thought beads weren't easy to get. Originally, he thought that there should be a lot of resentment thought beads in Eternal Paradise, but in the end, he discovered that he was thinking too much. There weren't many things. At least, it didn't make Lin Fei very happy. Therefore, he had to collect the resentment thought beads by himself. At this time, the king of 10,000 fiends came in handy. He couldn't stay by his side every day. Go back and take control of Dark Church first. Lin Fei sent the king of 10,000 fiends away. Now, the king of 10,000 fiends had a backer. After all, Lin Fei joined the poor family and became a junior member of Eternal Paradise. Naturally, the boat rises with the tide. As a person following by his side, the king of 10,000 fiends more or less received some favors. At the very least, some people who wanted to deal with him wouldn't make a move. The king of 10,000 fiends could also defeat the average 4-star and 5-star king of 10,000 fiends. He more or less heaved a sigh of relief. After the king of 10,000 fiends left, Lin Fei didn't stay idle. He directly went to Miracle City. The place wasn't hard to find. It was located in the depths of the world in the void. Therefore, it wasn't difficult to find it, but it wasn't easy either. For people like Lin Fei, it was really easy to find this Miracle City. After 3 months, Lin Fei came to the depths of the void. He found this Miracle City. In the void, a huge city was floating in the air. That's right, the Miracle City was floating just like this. Of course, the movement of floating wasn't big. It was very subtle, but it was more or less moving. From the outside, this Miracle City didn't seem to be anything special. But Lin Fei could feel the dangerous aura that came from the depths of his bones. Indeed, as the information said, the Miracle City was indeed a dragon's pool and tiger's den. It was even 100 times more dangerous than a dragon's pool and tiger's den. Once he stepped into the Miracle City, it was too difficult to come out. After circling around the Miracle City, he realized that this Miracle City was very big. It was at least 1,000,000 kilometers in size. The entire Miracle City was quiet. The more it was like this, the more it proved that this Miracle City wasn't ordinary. Lin Fei didn't enter the Miracle City. He just sized it up. Finally, he came to the entrance of the Miracle City. This place looked very ordinary. It was just a rainbow bridge that spanned out. But Lin Fei could feel the great danger and horror on this rainbow bridge. Just entering the gate was already so dangerous. One could imagine what kind of situation it was. Lin Fei decided to go and take a look to see how dangerous this rainbow bridge was. Just as he landed on the rainbow bridge, Lin Fei felt another terrifying force. This force was actually annihilation. In front of this annihilation, this force kept seeping over. The more he went in, the stronger the annihilation force was. This also made Lin Fei have a greater feeling about the Miracle City. It was indeed a place where one couldn't get out. It was really dangerous. Even if Lin Fei used the Great 5 Elements technique to form a shield defense, it couldn't resist the invasion of this annihilation force. It kept collapsing. If his foundation wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't be able to hold on at all. As expected of the Miracle City, the power of annihilation is so overbearing and fierce. It seems that my Great 5 Elements technique can't stop it. Chapter 4775. Miracle City was also known as the Land of Death. Back then, who knew how many geniuses wanted to enter and explore? In the end, they all died inside and couldn't come out. From then on, those who dared to go to Miracle City were all fools. Basically, no one was willing to go to Miracle City anymore. However, there were still some people around the Miracle City. This was because 1 or 2 treasures would occasionally appear in the Miracle City. Of course, this could be a few decades, a few hundred years, or even 1,000 years. This didn't stop people from trying their luck outside. Just like that, a few heaven gods started to wander around. They wanted to try their luck too. Even if they didn't find anything good, if they could meet 1 or 2 experts who came out, they could still gain something. Everyone's thoughts were more or less the same. They wanted to take advantage of someone who was weak, let alone someone who came out of Miracle City. Demon God Sanyang was such a person. He was just trying his luck in this area. 30 years ago, he got lucky. He killed an expert and gained a huge amount of wealth, which allowed him to reach the 5-star demon god level. Therefore, he had been wandering around Miracle City all this time. Now, he finally saw another person on the Rainbow Bridge. He raised his eyebrows and smiled. Our luck is not bad. Another person has come. It's another guy who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. We can go up and guard him. When he escapes, he will definitely be injured. At that time, we can kill him without anyone knowing. In the past, Demon God Sanyang had always acted alone. But now he had found a few helpers. These demon gods were all attached to him. With these people, he could move much faster. His combat strength was also much stronger, so it was easier to deal with people. Moreover, he was dealing with someone who was seriously injured. He knew how strong the Rainbow Bridge was. It wasn't easy to take. He didn't expect his luck to be so good today. Someone else got on the Rainbow Bridge. He wanted to try his luck in Miracle City again. Such a person deserved to die. To Demon God Sanyang, Miracle City was a trap, a super huge trap. Whoever went in would be unlucky. It wasn't easy for them to come out alive. Of course, now that he was in this area, even if they went in and wanted to come out, they would have to ask for his permission. The few demon gods behind him also started laughing. They also felt that they would be able to reap great rewards in a while. Who told these people to not know the immensity of heaven and earth? If the Miracle City was so easy to break into, then there would have been people who succeeded in taking down the Miracle City or taking out powerful treasures from inside. No one would pay a high price to know the situation inside Miracle City. Demon God Sanyang immediately brought his people over. He had a pearl in his hand that could perfectly cover their tracks. It was because of the pearl that Demon God Sanyang was able to catch the other party off guard. Just like this, they came to the vicinity of the Rainbow Bridge. He could vaguely see the figure inside. Even 3C's demon god would feel great pressure when facing the Rainbow Bridge, let alone the guy inside. If nothing goes wrong, this guy will definitely escape within an hour. If he can't escape, then he's dead. That's great. We just need to get this corpse out. Demon God Sanyang was a professional now. It didn't matter if you were injured or dead. He could easily get you out of there. Demon God Sanyang had prepared a series of things, and this guy came to him on his own accord. Time passed minute by minute. The originally motionless figure suddenly moved. He walked forward again. He was extremely fast. He was getting further and further away from him. Then, Demon God Sanyang's expression changed slightly. This situation was a little surprising. This guy actually had some ability. He actually went inside. Didn't he know that it would be more dangerous inside? It's okay, we'll just wait here. He will definitely come out. No one can persist until he gets inside. If he can come back, he'll be considered rich. When the time comes, he'll be able to make up for decades or even hundreds of years of savings. Demon God Sanyang wasn't surprised at all. He just sat down cross-legged. He slowly started to wait. On Lin Fei's side, he felt the power of the Rainbow Bridge. It was really rare. No wonder exploring Miracle City required 800,000 contribution points. It really wasn't a place that anyone could enter. Very quickly, Lin Fei crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He frowned as he actually sensed the existence of other people. Behind him. No way. Someone is planning to come to Miracle City. No, he seems to have stopped. Is he waiting for me to come out? Lin Fei understood right away. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't expect that there would be such a smart person waiting for him outside. If he was injured, then naturally he wouldn't be their match. If he died here, then even his corpse would be taken away by them. This was a good deal. Lin Fei didn't continue to think about it. The moment he entered, there was a giant square. The square was empty. Lin Fei squinted as he saw a few things. They were actually corpses. Who knew how long they had been dead for? These corpses should be dead at least 1,000 years ago. Maybe they came here to try their luck. Lin Fei didn't see the rings on the ground, which surprised him a little. Thinking about the people outside, he shook his head slightly. He didn't need to guess to know that they must have used some means to take them away. It was dangerous for people to come in, but there were some treasures that could ignore these dangers, so they could really take these rings away. It was an unexpected gain. Lin Fei didn't bother about it anymore. Hua, 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 hua. At this moment, a gust of wind blew. This gust of wind was very gentle and didn't have any strength, but it instantly made Lin Fei feel what absolute danger was. The Tao of Time instantly unfolded. Pung, 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 pung. These winds landed on Lin Fei's body and instantly exploded with a terrifying cutting ability. Even Lin Fei's great cutting technique was reprimanded in front of this power. Fortunately, Lin Fei opened the Tao of Time. He directly used the flow of time to weaken the power of the great cutting technique. Even so, it made Lin Fei feel a terrifying sense of danger. A huge wound was left on his body. He didn't even have time to defend. What kind of miracle city is this? This is definitely a place of death. Chapter 47:76. The wind in the square was very strong and it was very powerful. Lin Fei finally understood why so many people didn't dare to come to Miracle City. If they came, they would be finished. His Tao of Time was consumed very quickly. Fortunately, he had accumulated a lot and he managed to withstand this round of attack. Lin Fei also knew that this wind should be condensed from the so-called intent power. Not everyone could withstand it. If one's physical body was slightly weaker, or their defense was slightly weaker, all their previous efforts would be in vain. In other places, Lin Fei might not dare to use this Tao of Time because it was too conspicuous. However, in this place, Lin Fei didn't care. The Tao of Time was activated. The 5 elements defense was activated. The Great Cold spell was activated. His entire body became an existence that was impervious to water and fire. Fortunately, Lin Fei had accumulated a lot. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been enough. Even so, he had to walk and stop, and then walk again. Fortunately, the route that Lin Fei took was not bad. Exploring this place was quite dangerous. However, in Lin Fei's opinion, this miracle city should have a lot of good things. However, so far, he hadn't seen anything that satisfied Lin Fei. He entered from the square. Swoosh! Lin Fei came to a palace. This palace was very big. A terrifying chill seeped through the air. Lin Fei's Great Cold spell directly clashed with this chill. A loud rumbling sound collided with each other. Lin Fei's Great Cold spell wasn't the strongest. Hence, after clashing with the chill, it was directly blasted away. However, there was still a part of the power that penetrated through. After continuously reducing it, it landed on Lin Fei's body. His body was covered with a thin layer of frost. This made Lin Fei secretly suck in a breath of cold air. This place was even more terrifying than the outside. Don't be fooled by the thin layer of frost. It could instantly freeze his entire body. I really don't know who made this miracle city. Without the strength of an 8 or 9 stars demon, one wouldn't be able to withstand it. It's too difficult. Lin Fei finally understood why an 8 stars demon would die here. He really couldn't withstand it. Lin Fei sighed in his heart and was attracted by the scene in front of him. He really couldn't believe it. There were actually many frozen statues in this palace. These statues were all kinds of corpses. Even though these corpses were dead, the frozen corpses could still emit a powerful pressure. Moreover, this ice was not ordinary ice. It could actually withstand the spread of the pressure. The ice sealed inside didn't spread at all. Black Yuan demon snake, good at heaven-devouring technique, has 9 stars demon combat power. Killed by an expert from the celestial world. Lin Fei frowned when he saw that there was a record at the bottom of the statue. Could it be that the people sealed in this miracle city are experts from other worlds? And these experts from other worlds were killed by experts from the celestial world. This time, it was Lin Fei's turn to be shocked. He was trapped in this cage of the celestial world and almost couldn't get out. He didn't expect to see these things in this miracle city again. Along the way, there was a simple introduction of each corpse. Without exception, they were all killed by experts from the celestial world. There were about 20 to 30 corpses here, and each corpse was at the level of a 9 stars demon. Lin Fei guessed that these 9 stars demon gods should be the top existence in this level. Otherwise, they would really be qualified to stand here. At the front, there was a door. Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry to go in. Boundless starlight gathered together, and a figure appeared. Welcome to Miracle City. This is a land of miracles. As long as you have the strength, you will enjoy the benefits that Miracle City brings you. No matter how he looked at it, the figure that appeared seemed to be promoting the place. Lin Fei felt weird no matter how he listened to it. As long as you can withstand the pressure of these 9 stars demon gods, the longer you can withstand it, the more you will be able to obtain their inheritance and enter the 2nd level. Lin Fei just heard this, and before he could say anything, the frozen corpse of the 9 stars demon gods was instantly unsealed. Boundless pressure came crashing down on them. Fortunately, Lin Fei hadn't lowered his defenses at all. Thus, he was instantly hit by the frightening attack. He didn't know how many times he had cursed in his heart. This place was really overbearing. It didn't care if you agreed or not, and immediately started attacking. What kind of person could withstand it? If he wasn't careful, he would be wiped out completely. One by one, the attacks from the shadows started coming. Within the pressure, they actually transformed into their original forms and started attacking Lin Fei without exception. This attack made Lin Fei feel the pressure. The pressure of these 20 to 39 stars demon gods, coupled with the attack of the illusory bodies, was really terrifying. Lin Fei directly exerted the great Tao of time to the extreme. Time passed. This was the only way he could withstand the pressure and attacks. Even so, Lin Fei's fleshly body had been torn open and blood flowed out from his wounds. He looked as though he was covered in blood. Fortunately, this didn't affect Lin Fei too much. He could more or less withstand it. He was betting that these attacks wouldn't last for too long. Based on his current situation, he could definitely withstand it. Time passed by the minutes and seconds. Half an hour, 2 hours for hours. Time passed very quickly. Lin Fei finally experienced what was called great horror. If he hadn't mastered the great Tao of time, he might not have been able to withstand it. Miracle City, I'd like to see what kind of miracle you can bring me. Lin Fei felt that he was a little careless. This place was really a little dangerous. It was more dangerous than a dragon's lair and a tiger's lair. Now he could only bite the bullet and see how long he could last. Fortunately, Lin Fei didn't have to wait for long. After about 8 hours, the frozen statues were frozen again. Everything happened as naturally as flowing water. It was very fast. Before Lin Fei could even react, he had been sealed in ice. All of the oppressive might attacks had disappeared. However, it had also tired Lin Fei out. It was as if he had walked out of a pool of blood. With a thought, his powerful physical body instantly began to recover. It took a long time for him to recover. His face was a little pale. This was the strongest lineup that Lin Fei had encountered so far. The shadow formed by the starlight appeared again. Congratulations, Challenger. You are the first person in 5,000 years to pass this stage. You are qualified to receive the inheritance. The first in 5,000 years. Lin Fei was slightly stunned. This was a little long. Chapter 47:77. Lin Fei's heart trembled slightly. He was the first person in 5,000 years to pass the test. On second thought, it seemed to be the case. It was too difficult. The attack of 20 to 30 phantoms was truly terrifying. If it wasn't for the great Tao of time that weakened the power and his strong physical body, he wouldn't have been able to withstand it. If it was anyone else, they would have died here. The shadow reached out and grabbed. From the statue that was originally frozen, blood-colored beads flew out. As soon as these blood-colored beads flew out, Lin Fei felt that these blood-colored beads were different. It was extremely thick and terrifying, and it even contained all of the essence within it. If this is the reward, it's not bad. It should be fine for my physical body. Lin Fei's infinite divine body was relatively strong, but this time he also realized that he hadn't reached the real level of strength. Otherwise, the attacks of these shadows wouldn't have hurt his body at all. It could only be said that there was a big difference. These are their essences. You can choose any 3 to absorb and refine. It will be of great benefit to your physical body. However, you have to refine them on the spot. Only then will you be qualified to enter the next level. Otherwise, I can only send you out and take it as you have given up the qualification. In front of him, feeling the existence of these blood-colored beads, Lin Fei could feel how terrifying they were. It was so thick that it was ridiculous. It really wasn't something that anyone could absorb and refine. This first level was really a bit fatal. Not to mention anything else, he had to first withstand the attacks of these 20 to 30 shadows. Now that the blood-colored beads as a reward were so terrifying, he had to absorb them on the spot. This miracle city was really strange. If it was only 1 bead, many people could withstand it, but if it was 3 beads, it was different. It could definitely make one's physical body explode, unless one cultivated an absolute physical body cultivation method. Lin Fei decided to give it a try without thinking. After all, his physical body was still very strong. No matter how domineering it was, his time great Tao was no joke. He could still upgrade his infinite divine body. Lin Fei couldn't get these faith beads for a while, so he couldn't get any honor points. Without honor points, he naturally couldn't upgrade his infinite godly body. Just thinking about it makes me want to cry. I choose to absorb and refine the 3 blood-colored pearls here. Lin Fei was the first to speak. He didn't want the shadow to throw him out again. At that time, it would be a wasted trip. Who knew if the next test would be like this? Lin Fei didn't want to gamble, nor did he want to try. He wanted to get the benefits first. All the blood-red beads automatically came to Lin Fei. Each of them was terrifyingly rich, just like a blood sea grand realm. Lin Fei could not imagine how much essence these blood-red beads had accumulated. One could definitely imagine that this thing was no less than a super-nourishing pill. Without a certain level of strength, one wouldn't be able to withstand it at all. Of course, the final result was obvious. It was like a ripe watermelon splitting into pieces. It really couldn't be more dead. The impact of that moment was definitely abnormally terrifying. Lin Fei still decided to give it a try. Such an opportunity was too rare. He suspected that all the essence of the foreign race experts who died outside had gathered together to form these blood-red beads. I want this one, and this one, and this one. Without any hesitation, Lin Fei directly chose 3 of the blood-red beads. Then 3 blood-red beads floated over and landed on Lin Fei's hand. The faint light contained terrifying essence power. The shadow waved his hand, and all the blood-red beads returned. Then the surrounding vision changed rapidly. It was as if he was in a secret room. Then the shadow's voice came. Next, you will have a year to refine and absorb them. If you can't refine them in a year, then you won't be qualified to challenge the second level. The shadow immediately dissipated. Lin Fei knew that this guy would dig a hole here. The 3 blood-red beads contained rich essence. It would definitely take time to refine them. It would be too difficult to refine them in a short period of time. If he didn't expect the shadow to give him a year's time, this would definitely be a huge test. Not many people could do it easily. Even Lin Fei himself felt the pressure. The time was so long that it was released directly. A year's time. I really don't believe that I can't refine these 3 blood-red beads. Miracle City. Let's see what kind of miracle it can give me. Lin Fei directly swallowed one of the blood-red beads. As soon as the blood-colored bead entered his body, it instantly erupted with terrifying energy. This energy was vigorous and vigorous. In an instant, it seemed like it wanted to destroy this body and pursue freedom. All of you, scram to the infinite grotto heaven. Lin Fei directly controlled the time Tao to suppress the violent impulse of this energy. All of them rushed into the infinite grotto heaven. At this time, the infinite grotto heaven came in handy. Once it entered, the violent energy kept hitting the infinite grotto heaven back and forth. Lin Fei's time Tao directly enveloped it, continuously suppressing it. Of course, the consumption of energy also became exceptionally high. Soon, traces of golden energy appeared. This trace of golden energy was mobilized by Lin Fei and entered his flesh and blood. After this golden energy entered his flesh and blood, it instantly made Lin Fei feel what was called warmth. It was as if he had really taken a great tonic. His physical body, which was originally stagnant, actually started to move again. I knew it would be like this. There must be a huge amount of essence in here. Previously, Lin Fei had already guessed that these blood-red beads contain the essence of many foreign race experts. From the looks of it, that was indeed the case. His physical body had been upgraded in an instant. It seems like my infinite divine body can really be improved this time. This infinite divine body was said to have no ceiling. Lin Fei had always wanted to try and see how many levels he could reach. Now it seemed like there was really a chance. Putting his mind back, Lin Fei began to use all his strength to suppress this violent energy. Only after he suppressed it could he refine it and extract the traces of golden energy to improve his physical body. This process was very cumbersome and very boring. Therefore, he had to concentrate for hundreds of hours. Chapter 4778. Level 4 Infinite Divine Body. Level 5 Infinite Divine Body. Level 6 Infinite Divine Body. Level 7 Infinite Divine Body. The essence of the blood-red beads was so dense that it was as if a rocket had been fired. Lin Fei was also very shocked. This miracle city was really a good person. It absorbed all the essence of the foreign race experts and gathered it into a blood-red bead. Lin Fei had taken a total of 3 such blood-red beads. Fortunately, he had the suppression of the time Tao. Therefore, Lin Fei did not feel much pressure when absorbing and refining them. At the same time, his physical body was also gradually becoming stronger. Meanwhile, in another palace, a shadow was gathering. Beside him were 2 shadows. Their faces could not be seen clearly, but at this time they were staring at one side of the screen. It was the scene of Lin Fei cultivating. This kid is not bad. He has actually mastered the time Tao. It seems that we can really nurture an amazing guy this time. That's hard to say. Even if he has the time Tao, it is still unknown whether he can absorb and refine these 3 blood-red beads. Not all cultivation methods have such a strong absorption ability. No matter what, we have to have some hope. It was not easy to find such a person. It is not bad that he has the guts and strength. We can still give it a try. The tone of the 3 shadows was cold, but no matter how one listened, they seemed to have great expectations. However, Lin Fei did not know it all. His infinite divine body had finally broken through to the 10th level, and his physical body had become much stronger. The infinite grotto heaven had also started to expand, and the energy it could store was also increasing. The infinite grotto heaven also seemed to have become a lot more solid. Finally, I have refined the second blood-red bead. There is still one more. Maybe my infinite divine body can break through to the 15th level. This is really unimaginable. Now, my physical body has reached the level of a demon god. It is at least as strong as a 7-star demon god or even more. Previously, Lin Fei's physical body was already relatively strong. Coupled with a series of defenses, such as the Great Five Elements technique, it was simply impossible to break through. Defense was still defense, but now that his physical body had grown, it was different. Even if he didn't use the Great Five Elements technique, he still had other defensive methods. Just his physical body alone was incomparably strong. Most importantly, his physical strength had also improved. He could shatter the void with a single punch. He could kill a demon god with a single punch. This was what made Lin Fei the happiest. The feeling of his fists hitting flesh was much better than the others. Lin Fei swallowed the third blood-red bead. This time, the life essence that gushed out was even more powerful and terrifying. He didn't know how long it had been accumulating, but for a moment, Lin Fei's body felt like it couldn't take it anymore. If not for the fact that his infinite god body had been upgraded to level 10, his physical body would have burst open for a split second. Lin Fei himself was shocked to think that there was such a huge pit buried here. Indeed, this thing wasn't that easy to obtain. There was even a small trap set up. If one wasn't careful, one would be wiped out by this small trap. Lin Fei looked at it in disdain. He started to focus on refining this blood-red bead again. It took him almost an entire year to refine these 3 blood-red beads. Even so, it was enough to tire Lin Fei out. Fortunately, his infinite god body had finally broken through to level 15. His physical body had also reached the peak of 9 stars demon god. This was also the so-called peak of 9 stars, celestial god. At this time, his physical body was really ridiculously strong. There were traces of infinite defense surrounding him. If one wanted to break through his physical body, they would first have to break through this infinite defense. Even Lin Fei was a little surprised by such a defense. He didn't expect to have such a harvest. This infinite god body was really not bad. It was indeed something that he had exchanged from the business floor. It was indeed a good thing. Congratulations on successfully refining the 3 blood-red beads. Your physical body has also been greatly improved. The starlight converged, and the phantom appeared once again. Lin Fei still couldn't see through this phantom. He was sure that this fellow was an equipment spirit. To be able to cultivate such an equipment spirit, it was definitely the work of an almighty. This is a stone tablet. You can only enter the 2nd stage when your strength reaches a certain level. Come on, bring out your full strength. Let me see if you've really improved. The phantom waved its hand again. There was a loud rumble in front of Lin Fei, and a stone tablet appeared just like that. This was a black stone tablet. It looked very ordinary. However, Lin Fei could feel that this stone tablet was different. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This phantom really knew how to calculate. There was a small trap in one of the 3 blood-red beads. Now that there was such a stone tablet, wouldn't it mean that it would be difficult for him to enter the 2nd stage without breaking through? This was really a case of one after another. Lin Fei laughed. As you wish. Boom! Lin Fei directly punched out. This punch turned into a light spot and landed heavily on the stone tablet. Streams of light instantly spread out on the stone tablet. There was a loud rumble, and the stone tablet shook. It shook for a total of 9 times. Only then did it stop. Lin Fei had indeed used all his strength in this punch. He wanted to see how powerful his punch was. He also wanted to see how strong his physical body was. Lin Fei felt that his physical body had reached the level of 9 stars of the heavenly god realm. However, he would only know if it was the case after he tried it. Now that there was such a stone tablet, Lin Fei's wish was fulfilled. No matter what, he had to give it a try. Moreover, it wasn't a problem to go all out here. Lin Fei had mastered the great teleportation technique. Previously, he had already sensed that he could use the great teleportation technique to leave this place. No one would know that Lin Fei had mastered the great teleportation technique, which allowed him to ignore the formation and break out instantly. This was also the reason why Lin Fei dared to enter. After all, many secret realms were filled with all sorts of traps. Small traps, big traps, big traps, big traps. You don't even know when you will be schemed against. After these golden streams of light passed, a few words actually appeared on the black stone tablet. 9 stars, demon god. Lin Fei knew that it was exactly the same as what he had guessed. He didn't expect his physical body to really reach the level of 9 stars, demon god. Isn't this considered reaching the sky in one step? Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect you to reach the level of 9 stars, demon god. Then you are qualified to enter the next stage. Phantom Dao. Chapter 4779. Walala Walala. Outside of Miracle City, a black hole suddenly appeared in the void and someone walked out. There weren't many people, just 3 of them. 2 of them stood at the back. They surrounded a young man. It was a white-haired young man who was looking at Miracle City in front of him. At the same time, Demon God Sanyang, who had been sitting cross-legged in the dark, opened his eyes. That's weird. Why did someone come again? Is it a trend to enter Miracle City? I really have nothing to do after eating my fill. Demon God Sanyang was still a little resentful. One must know that the kid had been in there for almost a year and still hadn't come out. This made Demon God Sanyang speechless. Did that guy really die inside? He had used his treasure to check, but he didn't see the kid's corpse outside. This made Demon God 3Cs even more certain of one thing. That kid had definitely barged in. Such a situation was really rare. He didn't expect that after just a year, more people would come. 3 people came at once. The moment the 3 of them appeared, Demon God Sanyang was delighted. Was the heavens helping him? 1 was gone and another 3 came. Just as Demon God Sanyang was feeling great, the white-haired young man suddenly raised his head and looked over. That gaze pierced through the void and landed on Demon God Sanyang's body. The 3C's demonic god shuddered at once. Not good. He noticed me. How is this possible, my treasure? The moment that thought appeared, Demon God Sanyang realized something even more terrifying. In an instant, the 2 figures broke through the air and appeared beside him. 1 on the left and 1 on the right, they grabbed his arms and brought him away. As for his subordinates, they were annihilated with a bang. They didn't even have the ability to think before they turned into ashes. Demon God 3Cs was scared out of his wits. He had met a super terrifying existence. Those were a few 3-star demon gods and 4-star demon gods. He didn't expect them to be wiped out with just a gaze. Young master, please spare my life. I'm just passing by. Demon God 3Cs understood what was going on. He had encountered the young master who was out, and his bodyguard was so strong. One could only imagine how strong he was, so he quickly begged for mercy. The white-haired young man said indifferently, I ask and you answer. If you answer correctly, you live. If you answer incorrectly, you die. It's that simple. His tone was light, but it was filled with irresistible majesty. The 3C's demonic god knew very well that if he didn't answer well, he would definitely die. First question, is this Miracle City? The 3C's demon god nodded. Yes, this is Miracle City. There's only one place called Miracle City in the entire great world. There is no other. The white-haired young man didn't look at Demon God Sanyang anymore. He looked at the Miracle City in front of him. My luck is pretty good. After crossing 32 worlds, I finally found the Miracle City. This trip wasn't in vain. There was a loud bang. 3C's demon god's mind went blank and he lost consciousness. The white-haired young man set foot on the rainbow bridge. His entire body was instantly enveloped in a brilliant light. Then he went up against the power on the rainbow bridge. Step by step, he walked into the room. If someone was here, they would definitely exclaim. This was definitely top-notch strength. It was the same for the two people behind him. Lin Fei finally entered the second stage. After leaving the strength of the 9 stars demon god on the steel, he finally entered the second place. This was also a palace. However, compared to the previous palace, there were many frozen statues. There were even more of them than before, causing Lin Fei to gasp in surprise. How many experts had died in this world? There were actually so many here. Before, there were only 20 to 30 statues, but here, there were more than 100. Lin Fei sized them up and didn't see any records. This meant that these were all nameless corpses. From these corpses, Lin Fei could feel a terrifying pressure. They were stronger and more terrifying than the 9 stars demon god below. If it wasn't for the fact that his physical body had reached the level of the 9 stars demon god, Lin Fei wouldn't be able to withstand this pressure. This pressure was like a mountain. One after another, it kept hitting his body. The infinite defense around his body kept collapsing. Fortunately, it didn't affect Lin Fei's physical body too much. It can't be that I have to withstand the attacks of these phantoms at this stage, right? If that's the case, it will really be a bit stressful. Lin Fei underestimated it in his heart. He felt that the possibility of this was still very high. The starlight all over the sky gathered together, and a phantom appeared. Compared to the previous phantom, this phantom was much taller and bigger. Lin Fei was slightly stunned. Could it be that there were a few weapon spirits here? This is really interesting. Lin Fei had never doubted his ability to judge. There was definitely more than one phantom in this place. There was one phantom in the first stage and another one in this stage. The two phantoms were different. It was very easy to capture them. This also made Lin Fei even more curious about what kind of place this miracle city was. Indeed, it would bring about some different miracles. At the very least, his physical body had improved and his infinite divine body had reached the 15th level. It had also allowed his physical body to reach the level of the 9 stars demon god. If he were to take another step forward, his physical body might be able to reach the level of the 10 stars demon god. Welcome to the second stage. This second stage seems to be similar to the first stage, but there is a little difference. You don't need to fight with these corpses. You only need to fight with one of them. When you win, you will get the reward of this stage. The voice was as cold as ever. But for some reason, Lin Fei felt a trace of anticipation in the cold tone. It was very different. There are so many statue corpses here. If I choose one of them, isn't it no different from choosing blindly? This stage was indeed a little different. But compared to the previous stage, Lin Fei felt that there was no difference. Who knew which of these corpses was stronger and which was weaker? So he could only rely on luck. This time, Lin Fei wasn't so stupid. He felt that he could totally be lazy and use some tricks. Otherwise, if he really encountered a terrifying existence, he would really be dead. Challenger, you only have an hour to make your choice. Good luck. Chapter 4780. The white-haired young man also successfully passed the rainbow bridge. He arrived at the first level. Frozen statues appeared one after another, followed by the appearance of a phantom. I didn't expect this miracle city to be so interesting. No wonder no one has been able to succeed in the challenge here. I've picked up a big bargain this time. The starlight all over the sky gathered together, and the phantom appeared again. Challenger, if you want to get the reward of this level, you have to withstand the joint attack of these 30 statues. Only by persevering can you get the reward. The white-haired young man smiled faintly. I didn't expect there to be a weapon spirit here. It seems that the God of Miracles really knows how to arrange things. In that case, I'd like to have a good taste of it. The 30 statues moved instantly. The The phantom and the real body's attacks were all coming, and it was very powerful. The white-haired young man's white hair suddenly moved. Immortal god of war, immortal god fist. A loud, rumbling sound began. Lin Fei didn't stop either. Instead, he chose to use a trick. After all, he wasn't very clear about what it was like inside. If he thought about it slowly, it would be bad if he was unlucky. Therefore, it was more appropriate to find a trick. As long as he could get to the next level, he would be the winner. Lin Fei wasn't that old-fashioned. Fortunately, he still had hatred left, which was used at these critical times, and it came in handy now. Great luck technique. This was the cheap method that Lin Fei chose. It wasn't a high price, but it was relatively useless. Because it could only be used 3 times, it was a one-time use. To get the complete great luck technique, the hatred would not be low. This was the top 10 of the 3,000 great paths. It was second only to the great path of time, great path of space, etc. This also made Lin Fei secretly heave a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he had this one-time use. Otherwise, he really wouldn't be able to afford this great luck technique. With this great luck tree, it would be different. Lin Fei was instantly filled with confidence. He felt as if there was a direction guiding him, and he walked forward. Previously, Lin Fei had planned to use the great karma technique, but he realized that he had no karmic connection with these statues at all, so this method naturally failed. However, things were different now that he had the great luck technique. Following that feeling, Lin Fei arrived in front of a statue. This was a statue with 3 heads and 6 arms. At first glance, it looked very mighty and domineering. Lin Fei was slightly taken aback. That can't be right. The statue with 3 heads and 6 arms looks very powerful no matter how I look at it. Could it be a mistake? Lin Fei couldn't help but doubt himself. There was no other way, so he decided to stick to the statue. Are you sure? The voice of the phantom came over. Lin Fei nodded. Since there are so many statues here, I'll just pick one at random. Let's start. Don't waste time. Suddenly, the surrounding scene changed. It appeared in a huge palace, and there was only this ice statue left. With a whoosh, cracks filled the sky. Following that, the statue shattered, and the 3-headed, 6-armed fellow came out. This is an ancient demonic beast, the 3-headed ox demon, the strength of an ultimate demon god, which is the so-called strength of a 10-star demon god. The 3-headed ox demon that came out of the ice instantly attacked Lin Fei. The mysterious man's words also fell into Lin Fei's ears. Lin Fei's heart slightly shook, wondering whether his luck was good or bad. Could it be that the other statues all had the power of a 9-star heavenly god? Or could it be that these statues all had the power of a 10-star demon god? In the blink of an eye, the 3-headed ox demon had already attacked. Its 6 arms struck out all kinds of magic skills, and this guy was also very fast. In an instant, it collided with Lin Fei. There was a loud, rumbling sound. Under this violent collision, Lin Fei actually took a step back. The 3-headed ox demon didn't move at all. Then the magic skills of the 6 arms came down, putting Lin Fei at a disadvantage. The loud rumbling sound didn't stop. The 3-headed ox demon's attack was very simple and very violent. Its strength was extremely penetrative. If one's body wasn't strong, they would have been torn apart. This was because this power contained the power of destruction. This wasn't simple. Good fella, the 3-headed ox demon is really strong. If I were to encounter it, I probably wouldn't be able to hold on. The other party's strength was indeed very strong, and there was the power of destruction in the penetration. However, Lin Fei's infinite divine body tier 15 wasn't to be trifled with. He withstood it all the way. It doesn't seem to be that lethal. After being attacked by the 3-headed ox demon for a while, Lin Fei didn't feel that it was as scary as he had imagined. Could it be that a 10-star demon god was weaker? Suddenly, one of the 3-headed ox demon's heads shot out a cold light. Caught off guard, Lin Fei was hit by this cold light and was instantly petrified. The 6 arms actually used 6 types of magic skills. The 6 types of magic skills actually fused together and turned into one type of magic skill. A palm landed on Lin Fei's body. This palm directly passed through Lin Fei's body. Just this palm alone was enough to injure Lin Fei. Whoosh! Whoosh! In just a few thoughts, the bloody hole that was torn open was immediately healed. This was another function of the infinite divine body, the powerful recovery ability. What a sinister fella. He actually has such a trump card. If I were in the same realm, I would have been killed immediately. Lin Fei secretly rejoiced in his heart. His infinite divine body was really too helpful. Not only did he have a strong physical strength, but he also had a strong recovery ability. Otherwise, he really wouldn't be able to beat the 3-headed ox demon today. The 3-headed ox demon was simply an overbearing existence. I can't let you attack anymore. It's my turn now. The great Arctic spell directly followed up and wrapped around the 3-headed ox demon. However, it only took a breath's time for it to be broken. Following that, the great incisor art turned into thin threads that wrapped around the 3-headed ox demon, leaving behind a white mark. Time like knife. The first 2 were just buying time. The real time like knife. The time like knife slashed across the 3-headed ox demon's body. Lin Fei instantly realized that the 3-headed ox demon's speed had slowed down significantly. It seemed like time was also useful against these corpses. The effect was also better than he had imagined. The 3-headed ox demon's speed had obviously slowed down, and so had its attacks. Another knife slash was sent over. Chapter 4781. It seemed like time like knife was very effective. Lin Fei was even more relaxed. He slashed at it again and again. Although it consumed a lot of energy, he still had to chase after the 3-headed ox demon and not give it any chance to make a move. All kinds of great path techniques enveloped it. In this way, Lin Fei was able to relax. After a total of 10 slashes, he finally killed the 3-headed ox demon. After all, every slash of time like knife was not simple. It wasn't something that just anyone could withstand. Whoosh! The 3-headed ox demon instantly turned into a cloud of smoke. The frozen statue in the distance instantly shattered with a kacha sound, and the huge corpse directly turned into a puff of gray smoke, completely disappearing without a trace. After all, Lin Fei used time like knife. One slash took away the life force, and another slash took away the life force. Even if it was a long time, even a corpse could not be preserved. It could be said that Lin Fei did it very directly. Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. He had completed the 2nd stage. To be honest, the difficulty of this stage was quite high. If it was not for the great luck technique, it would not have been easy. At the very least, Lin Fei felt that the great luck spell was pretty good after finding someone he could deal with. The phantom appeared again. It was a little surprising that the challenger could kill the 3-headed ox demon so quickly and destroy it completely. Time like knife was indeed quite terrifying. The power of every slash could be maintained completely. It was not something that anyone could do. This was because time like knife consumed too much energy. One slash after another would consume even more energy. After a while, even a super expert would be quite tired, unless he had accumulated a lot of energy. Congratulations on completing the 2nd stage of the challenge. A beam of light shrouded him. Lin Fei felt a force pulling him. He did not resist. In an instant, he came to a small palace. It was very different from the place before. The phantom also followed closely behind, but it didn't reveal its true appearance. It only transmitted its voice. You can choose any treasure here, and you will also have a year's time to rest. Right, let me remind you that another challenger has arrived. You may meet him, but it's not certain. Be prepared. The voice of the mysterious man stopped abruptly. Lin Fei was also slightly stunned. In the first trial, he could choose 3 Qi blood orbs, but this time, he could only choose 1 treasure. Could it be that this treasure was even more valuable? Of course, what surprised Lin Fei the most was that there were still people in Miracle City. Along the way, Lin Fei also understood that this Miracle City was not so easy to break through. Without top-notch strength, it was impossible to enter this place. Lin Fei knew this better than anyone else. But now, someone else had come in, and it seemed that this person was extremely powerful. Could it be that he was also a 9-star celestial god? Lin Fei absolutely did not doubt the words of the mysterious man. Since he said that a challenger had come in, there must be one. If he could meet him, it meant that it was very likely that he would pass the second trial. I just came in to take a look and try my luck. What does it have to do with me if he came in? I just have to do my own thing. Lin Fei did not think so much. He might as well pick out the spoils first. Lin Fei was not very clear about what the rewards on this floor were. Fortunately, this palace was not very big. After a glance, there were all kinds of things, most of which were treasures. The origins of these treasures were not small. They were all 9-star demon god treasures, coupled with 10 stars demon god treasures. These 2 levels of treasures were enough to move people. Of course, for Lin Fei, it was not that attractive. His physical body was already strong enough to withstand 9-star treasures. As for 10 stars treasures, their power was indeed different. Lin Fei wanted to find something that could improve his strength, not these treasures from the outside world. This won't do. This won't do either. The strength is a little weak, and the defense is a little weak. These treasures were very simple. They were either main attack or defense. As for offensive and defensive treasures, it was really rare. It was no wonder that offensive and defensive treasures were sold at such a high price. It could be seen from here. After a round, he did not find a ball of qi and blood that could improve his physical body. He was a little disappointed. He had some guesses in his heart. Perhaps the third trial would be more difficult. That was why he was asked to choose a treasure here. Lin Fei decided to choose a 10 stars treasure. Only a 10 stars treasure could be easily pushed and its greatest power could be exerted. As for a 9 stars treasure, it was a little lacking. 18 stars bracelet. After choosing for a while, Lin Fei finally found a treasure. That was the 18 stars bracelet. There were 18 beads, but all 18 beads had quite a history. This was because they were all refined from star worlds. Lin Fei had good eyesight. Otherwise, he would not have been able to recognize them. They were indeed very different. This bracelet was a 10-star fiend celestial treasure. Every bead was refined from the star world. When fighting against someone, the 18 star worlds could be set up to form a formation that could reduce the opponent's strength by more than 40%. To be able to reduce the opponent's strength by 40%, it was definitely a very terrifying method. It was no wonder it was called a 10 stars demon god treasure. Lin Fei was also interested in this. If he could suppress the opponent's strength, he would naturally be able to defeat the opponent. I will choose this 18 stars bracelet. Lin Fei picked up the 18 stars bracelet, and the light seal on the bracelet dissipated. Then he started refining it. He had to refine every star world in order to completely refine the 18 stars bracelet. Half a year had passed since the refinement began. Fortunately, Lin Fei's speed was quite fast, and he managed to completely refine the 18 star world. Finally, he put the bracelet on his wrist. At first glance, he thought it was just an ornament. In fact, it was a 10 stars demon god treasure. Go, 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 go! With a single thought from Lin Fei, the 18-star bracelet flew out. Each of the bracelets transformed into a world of stars and unleashed a powerful attack. Each attack reached the level of a 10 stars demon god. Of course, it consumed a lot of energy. A 10-star demon divine treasure is indeed different. Every strike of it is able to unleash such a powerful force. It's really not something that just anyone can withstand. Most importantly, there's this array. Chapter 4782. There was a loud, rumbling sound. The white-haired young man had passed the first level. He had also refined and absorbed the 3 blood chi beads, reaching the second level in one go. The Miracle City is really my blessed land. I didn't expect my body to improve so much. It seems that the treasures of the Miracle City will also fall into my hands. The white-haired young man was called Gufeng. He was the son of a top family in a top great world. Only they had information about the whereabouts of the Miracle City. Along the way, he had crossed more than 30 great worlds before he found the Miracle City. Just the harvest from the first level had greatly improved Gufeng's strength. Coming to the second level did not affect Gufeng at all. He could still easily pass it. The phantom image condensed. Congratulations, Challenger. You've reached the second level. I hope you can keep up the good work, because someone is already challenging the level before you. Gufeng frowned, looking a little surprised. There was actually someone who was 1 step ahead of him, and he had even made it to the second level. He knew that the Miracle City was very difficult. Without a certain level of strength, it was impossible to pass it. Except for the top monstrous geniuses, no one else could. The corner of his mouth also rose slightly. It seems that I have a competitor. That's good. Otherwise, how can I prove that I'm stronger than any other geniuses? After refining the 18 star beads, Lin Fei's strength had also improved greatly. To him, he preferred close combat. But this time he realized that the level ahead would not be easy to pass. Thus, he chose a relatively powerful treasure. This treasure was very powerful. Of course, it also consumed a lot of energy. Fortunately, Lin Fei's infinite divine body had increased to the 15th level. The accumulation of energy in his body was also unbelievably vigorous. If he really used it, he would be able to last for a long time. A year passed in a flash. Lin Fei's mastery of the 18 star beads had also changed at will. Not only could it instantly turn into an array, but it could also launch an attack instantly. Anyone who was not a 10-star demon god would not be able to withstand such an attack. Even a 10-star demon god expert would have to be careful. In this great world, Lin Fei did not know of the existence of a 10-star demon god. The strongest was only a 9-star demon god. In the face of the 18-star bracelet, it really couldn't withstand one of the attacks and directly turned into ashes. Lin Fei's surroundings began to change again. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at a palace. Lin Fei knew that the third test had come. The illusory figure also appeared. Challenger, welcome to the third stage. This third stage is a little different from the other 2 stages. Different? Lin Fei frowned slightly. What kind of trick was Miracle City playing? Lin Fei was looking forward to what the third stage would be like. Now that he heard the illusory figure say this, he felt that it was a little different. It should not be like the previous 2 stages. In the third stage, one of your opponents has not arrived yet. You can only announce it when he arrives. Originally, if he didn't come, I could announce it at any time. However, my master left an order. So you have to wait for the second challenger to come here, unless he is disqualified. This news was not good news for Lin Fei. Instead, it was bad news. He just wanted to look for something good in Miracle City. He did not expect to encounter such a thing. Now, he did not know what the third stage was about, but he actually had to wait for a person. Lin Fei was also very speechless. Then he would wait. It seemed that the person was very likely to make it through. If he could make it through, it proved one thing. The other party was really strong. At least, the gap between them should not be too big. Of course, Lin Fei still had a trump card, which was the Time Dao. If the other party was really strong, then at most he would use his trump card. Who was afraid of who? Lin Fei was really not afraid of anyone. He just came here purely to look for treasures. It had nothing to do with other things. Just like that, Lin Fei waited for an entire year. In the past year, Lin Fei had only meditated once. When he opened his eyes again, Lin Fei felt as if he was sitting in a meditative state. He looked at another place. That was because a figure had appeared there. This figure was actually a white-haired young man. He looked over here with a glance. Thus, Lin Fei decided to go against this white-haired young man. The pressure of the other party was very strong. He was incomparably arrogant. His whole body was full of dignity that only a superior could have. Without guessing, he knew that this white-haired young man definitely came from a top family, a real top family, the kind that had been passed down for billions of years. It was not even a real ancient family. Gu Feng also passed the second stage. The second stage was really difficult to pass. Fortunately, he had gained a lot this time. After a year, he finally refined the treasure and came to the third stage. When he came to the third stage, he saw a person immediately. This was a young man. He was very strange. The aura of his body was not strong. It was ordinary. However, Gu Feng felt a dangerous aura from this young man. This was a guy who could be dangerous to him. In other words, if he was not careful, it was very likely that he would be killed by the other party. This was the result of the dangerous aura. This also let Gu Feng know that the third stage was definitely not easy. Maybe the other party was waiting for him. The virtual figure appeared again. Lin Fei and Gu Feng's eyes turned and fell on the virtual figure. Welcome to the third stage, two challengers. It has been a long time since we came to the third stage together. Therefore, it is worth looking forward to. Lin Fei and Gu Feng looked at each other again. One could imagine the huge amount of information that the virtual figure brought. It was huge. In other words, it was rare for the two of them to enter the third stage together. The content of the third level is also quite simple. Of course, it's easy to say, but it's actually quite complicated. You need to unify a macro world within 500 years. Whoever emerges as the final winner will be the winner of the third level. Lin Fei and Gu Feng's heart sank. The test of Miracle City was too fierce. They actually had to unify a big world. Who could do that? Especially in the span of 500 years. This was not an easy task. Gu Feng's heart was also shaken. It was not easy to unify a big world. If it was a weak big world, it would be easy. But if it was a medium big world, even with his current strength, it would not be easy to defeat it. Most importantly, there was a competitor in the macro world on this side. Chapter 4783. The task of the third level had become very interesting. It could be said that it had become very competitive. If Lin Fei was alone, it would not be a problem. Now there was another outsider, and this outsider was the son of a top family. Therefore, there was a certain suspense about who would win and who would pass this level. Since you are the only two people who have come to the third level in recent years, this is an excellent opportunity for you. The figure began to speak again. Those who can pass this level will naturally see the things left by my master. As for the loser, he will also get a treasure that surpasses the level of a 10-star divine realm. Lin Fei could clearly feel that the other party seemed to be interested in this treasure. Of course, he was more interested in the first place. In other words, the reward for passing this level would be very generous. Even if Lin Fei was not too interested in these treasures, a treasure that surpassed the level of a 10-star demon god was still a little tempting to him. In any case, he would not suffer any loss on this trip. If this challenger wanted to completely destroy him, it would be a different matter. Now you will have 10 breaths to think about it. 10 breaths of time. Either you go or you don't. As soon as the figure's voice fell, Gu Feng was the first to speak. I am willing. After saying that, he glanced at Lin Fei again, full of provocation. To him, anyone who was here was his enemy. As long as it was an enemy, he had to deal with it. No one could take away what originally belonged to him from his hands. He had crossed more than 30 macro worlds to come here, and was full of endless expectations for Miracle City. Everything here belonged to him, and he also had the confidence to pass. Now, this ordinary stranger was a guy who came out halfway. For such a person, he would never be soft-hearted. If he met such a person, he would kill him without mercy. It is rare to encounter such an interesting thing. Wouldn't it be a waste if I don't go? So I have to go. Gufeng did not say anything harsh. To him, harsh words were of no use. Only strength was truly reliable. No matter who it was, he could kill them with one punch. It was just that straightforward. It was better than bragging. This was also a principle that his family had taught him. Saying too much would lead to mistakes. If one's strength was absolutely tyrannical, they could directly kill someone. No matter how much they talked, it would be useless. It was a very simple principle, and it was also very practical. Then I will send the two of you to the outside world now. You have 500 years to complete the unification. Whoosh! A huge black hole appeared just like that. Without any warning, the black hole enveloped Gufeng and Lin Fei from both sides. They disappeared without a trace in an instant. After the two of them disappeared, two more phantoms appeared in this place. The three phantoms gathered together. This time it's really lively. I thought there would be a challenger, but I didn't expect there to be another one. This house is even more lively. Let's see who has the ability to unify a macro world. Gufeng has a strong foundation and comes from a top family. I guess he has many tricks up his sleeves. On the other hand, Lin Fei looks a bit ordinary. I'm afraid he can't compete with this guy. You can't say that. This guy is quite powerful. Didn't you see that he has mastered the Great Way of Time? With the Great Way of Time, at least he can be invincible. If Gufeng wants to defeat him, he has to be stronger than him and break his Great Way of Time. For a moment, the three phantoms were arguing. They could not see what was happening in the other macro world. They could only wait for the final result. In their opinion, it wouldn't take more than 500 years to unify the great world in that world. Most likely, it would take 200 to 300 years. That should be enough to determine the winner. As for 100 years, it was even more impossible. It was a rather special and interesting world. It was also a macro world left by his master to test people. Not everyone could do such a big trick. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lin Fei felt that after a long distance, his feet were on the ground in an instant. He had mastered the Great Way of Time and understood it better than anyone else. The trick just now was definitely the real Great Way of Space. Moreover, he had crossed a long distance in an instant. How far was the distance? Lin Fei did not dare to guarantee it, but at the very least it was possible for dozens or hundreds of great worlds. The Master of Miracle City was really a powerful existence. The Great Way of Time that he had mastered couldn't be compared to the Master of Miracle City. In front of the Great Way of Space, it was completely useless. It was no different from an ant trying to shake a tree. As soon as Lin Fei's feet touched the ground, there was a loud rumble, and he saw the power of heaven and earth crushing down. Then the power of heaven and earth slashed like a knife. The knife slashed his body again and again. This scene happened too quickly. It was so fast that Lin Fei could not resist it. Not good. This universe seems to be able to sense my arrival and wants to kill me. Lin Fei had encountered such a situation several times in the past. In other words, his strength allowed him to sense danger in this world. The infinite defense around him was instantly broken. Following that, the infinite godly body was also left with many invisible scars. This was the power of heaven and earth. It did not appear on his physical body and slashed at the depths of Lin Fei's soul. One slash after another, it was very terrifying. This situation really surprised Lin Fei. The Great Way of Time directly spread out around him. This time, Lin Fei used time slowdown. He could only slow it down by 10 times. This was the limit of someone who had just mastered the Great Way of Time. He was not like others who could directly expand it by 20 times, 30 times. The more powerful ones could directly exceed 100 times. This kind of speed was really as slow as an ant. Time slowed down by 10 times. although it could affect the power of heaven and earth. It also made Lin Fei feel quite uncomfortable. At least he had fought for a certain chance. He punched out one punch after another. At this time, he had to resist the power of heaven and earth. Only by enduring this wave could he be considered to have a foothold here. Didn't I just make a trip here? Is there a need to be so ruthless? Heaven and earth attacked right from the start. Lin Fei cursed in his heart. This task was really difficult. Fortunately, his infinite god body had reached the 15th level. Otherwise, he would have been wiped out by the power of heaven and earth. When that happened, he would have become a walking corpse. Chapter 4784. He continuously withstood 20 to 30 attacks of the power of heaven and earth. Lin Fei finally withstood it. It could be said that he had gained a firm foothold in this world. It seems that this should be a very big top-level world. Only then can the power of heaven and earth interfere with people like me. Lin Fei sighed in his heart because he knew one thing. Just after withstanding it, there was a faintly discernible mark on his body. Of course, only Lin Fei knew about this mark. It was also a kind of recognition from the power of heaven and earth. It could be said that it was a label of this big world. Only then did he not continue to be attacked by the power of heaven and earth. These 20 to 30 attacks were very strong. Of course, it was still a little difficult to kill him. Perhaps this was a test of the power of heaven and earth. As for the top genius over there, it was the same. He should not have suffered much. Now, what Lin Fei wanted to do was to first understand this big world. He wanted to see how he could complete this path. A world like this was not a big world. If it was a small world, Lin Fei could directly integrate its power. But this was definitely not a small world, let alone a middle-level world. It was very likely that this was a big world. The ability of a big world was much more terrifying than imagined. Just look at the power of heaven and earth. Lin Fei had been to some worlds, most of which were low-level small worlds. He had not seen many middle-level worlds. So, as soon as he came to this big world, he knew that it was definitely not easy to survive in this big world. If he did not survive well, he could be easily destroyed. The words that came out of his mouth were really hard to believe. After really stepping on the ground, Lin Fei chose a direction and flew outside. He did not fly too high. It was better to be careful in a place like this. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Streams of light directly flew over. These streams of light were very powerful. They actually had the strength of a 2-star demon god. No, it should be the strength of a 2-star heavenly god. These streams of light were blocked after reaching Lin Fei. Bang, 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 bang. It exploded. A torrent of energy surged forward. It turned out that there was another method hidden within the flowing light. Then, 3 figures came up. As soon as he saw Lin Fei, he immediately attacked. He has a murderous aura on him. He must be from the demonic path. Kill him for me. These 3 people were all 2-star heavenly gods. When they attacked, they were relatively strong. At this time, Lin Fei's body did not reveal any aura at all. He was no different from an ordinary person, except that there was an additional black fog around his body. The black fog had only appeared a moment ago. Or perhaps it was because Lin Fei was using the resentment points to cultivate the cultivation method, so it was a little exposed at this time. He didn't expect that they would treat him as someone from the demonic path. On second thought, he felt that he was quite similar to this demonic cultivator. Then he would reluctantly become an expert of the devil path first. He waved his hand. A surge of power rumbled and directly crushed forward. Of those 3 2-star heavenly deities, 2 were killed on the spot. The remaining one was so scared that his face turned pale. He turned into a flowing light and turned to flee. Lin Fei reached out, and a surge of power enveloped the other party. He directly pulled him back and casually threw him to the ground. He pointed a finger at the other party's glabella. He plundered all of his memories. Then this person turned into ashes. Lin Fei was not polite at all to people who attacked like this. They were just on their way, but they were mistaken as demonic cultivators. Wasn't this asking him to kill them? Lin Fei was definitely not going to be polite. He stood there quietly. After a while, he also completely digested the information in these memories. He also knew the origin of the great world. It had to be said that the great world was indeed a great world. It was the so-called large-scale world. It was not like other small worlds or middle-level worlds, which could not be compared at all, because there were so many experts here. There was actually an existence who had broken through the 10-star heavenly deity in the great world. In other words, he had reached the realm of war god. This war god was much stronger than a heavenly god. There were many war gods in this great world, but there were only a total of 5 strongest. They were known as the 5 top experts. Every single one of them was at the war god realm and controlled a territory of their own. The rest were the limit heavenly gods. There were also many of them. After them were the other 8-star heavenly gods and 9-star heavenly gods. Their strength was terrifying. If he analyzed it according to the information inside, the 6-star heavenly gods and 7-star heavenly gods in that great world were not a match for these heavenly gods at all. At the same realm, they were directly crushed or insta-killed. The difference was too great. As expected, this mission is not so easy to complete. There are actually war gods. I heard that these war gods have all cultivated divine country worlds. In other words, the grotto heaven worlds have appeared. They are directly released during the battle. It is equivalent to a huge domain. Why were the 5 war gods always the top existences? Because it was too difficult to break through from the limit heavenly god realm to the war god realm. Even if they broke through, there was still a huge gap between them. Therefore, the 5 war gods were always the strongest existences. Each of them had been in charge for hundreds of millions of years. They were truly ancient existences. For such a mission to fall on his head, Lin Fei felt that the Lord might have made a mistake. Or did he have a conflict with the 5 top war gods? Or did he want to kill with a borrowed knife? No matter what, this mission was not easy to complete. However, at this time, Lin Fei wanted to leave, but he couldn't, because his great teleportation technique was suppressed by the power of this great world. In other words, the power of heaven and earth suppressed him. Lin Fei knew that this was a trap and a big one. In other words, unless he completed the mission, he could forget about leaving this great world for hundreds of years. If I want to improve my strength now, I can only start with a bead of resentment. Lin Fei quickly pushed this thought to the back of his mind. He had to improve his strength first. Fortunately, in this great world, his strength was not suppressed at all. In other words, he was still a genuine powerhouse. If he had to start all over again, he would really want to cry but have no tears. Didn't they treat me as a demonic expert? Then I'll start from the direction of the demonic path. Lin Fei could justifiably obtain a way to cultivate. Of course, the more reliable method was to control the entire demonic path for his own use. He believed that Gu Feng had the same idea as him. Now, it was just a matter of whose speed was faster. In any case, it was definitely not going to happen within 100 years. Chapter 4785. Gu Feng immediately understood the situation of this world. 5 top-tier war gods and a few regular war gods. It would be impossible for them to unite this world within 100 years. At the very least, it'll take 100 to 200 years, and that's if he's lucky. If he's alone, Gu Feng isn't worried at all. It doesn't matter even if it takes 400 years. He's still confident about this. But with the other challenger, the situation is different. He'll have to face the other sooner or later. Therefore, he needs to accumulate strength and expand his influence to unify the world in the future. Too bad that guy didn't appear near me. Otherwise, I'll use my secret technique to kill him. Too bad, too bad. Gu Feng didn't sense the other party appear near him. There's no information at all. He still has a treasure on him. Once he uses this treasure, even if the other party is a 10-star demon god, he'll still be able to kill him. Too bad he missed this opportunity. I hope you can live a little longer. Otherwise, it would be a pity if you didn't die in my hands. What I love the most is to kill you with my own hands. There's nothing more pleasurable than that. Gu Feng turned into a black light and left. After Lin Fei made his decision, he prepared to go to the nest of the demonic sections. He's already searched his memory, so he naturally knows what the situation of this world is like. The righteous sects and the demonic sects form two opposing sides. However, the righteous sects are dominating. The demonic cultivators were being slaughtered like stray dogs. Apart from the demonic sects and the righteous sects, there's another force, the monster race. The monster race also has a great influence in this world. It can also be said that this world is a combination of three great forces. The righteous sects have a war god. The demonic sects also have a war god. However, the war god from both sides didn't make a move, so they tacitly agreed to the fight below. The demonic sects are getting worse every year. They're not doing well. The monster race also has a war god. Apart from this war god, the other two war gods are free and unfettered outside. They have their own forces. These 5 war gods had determined the situation of the entire world. As for the other war gods, they would either establish their own sects or rely on other top-tier war gods. Lin Fei still decided to walk on the side of the devil path, because walking on the devil path could quickly collect hatred. Only in this way would he be able to improve his strength even more quickly. Otherwise, he might not be able to catch up to the mysterious challenger. That guy was definitely a top-notch genius young master from a top-notch faction. He must have some ultimate treasures on him. Lin Fei had the Great Tao of Time as a trump card, so the challenger also had a trump card. It was unknown who was stronger and who was weaker. According to the clues in my memory, the Devil Tao should be in the Ghost Mountain range now, occupying 2/10 of this world's territory. Information started popping up one after another. After confirming the direction, Lin Fei headed towards the Hades Mountain. The journey was not very peaceful, because the devil chi on his body from time to time attracted the pursuit of some righteous path experts. These people showed no mercy as soon as they came up and directly started a killing spree. Unfortunately, they met Lin Fei. Lin Fei did not hold back at all and directly annihilated them. Along the way, he didn't know how many groups of righteous path experts he had killed, but he had also gained some hatred. This amount of hatred was really nothing compared to the previous harvest, but it was still an improvement. At least he had left a certain reputation on the righteous side. This was considered acceptable. Otherwise, how could he gain hatred? This was not enough. If he wanted to gain more hatred, then he had to collect a large number of resentment prayer beads or establish absolute demonic might, making them feel monstrous hatred. This way he could gain more hatred. No matter which one it was, Lin Fei felt that it was quite difficult. The current Devil Tao was not having a good time. The righteous path was dominant, the monster race was recuperating, and the Devil Tao was struggling at death's door. It could be imagined that, in this great world, the Devil Tao really had no future. Fortunately, Lin Fei thought of the king of 10,000 demons. This guy could make resentment prayer beads, so he had to get it no matter what. He couldn't do it now. He had to go to the Hades mountain range first. So. The starlight that filled the sky directly rushed towards Lin Fei. After these starlight, more than a dozen figures appeared. These young figures were all calm and confident, as if they had Lin Fei in their grasp. They instantly surrounded him. They instantly surrounded Lin Fei, trapping him inside. Then, treasures flew out one by one. You are the Devil Tao expert that just appeared recently, right? You killed so many of our experts. Now that so many of us are here, let's see where you can run to. The one who spoke was a red-haired young boy, controlling a stream of light that kept attacking. It turned out that this stream of light was a flying knife. The flying knife was extremely sharp, and each attack could cut through the void. After killing you today, we can take the opportunity to show our Brotherhood's ability. What devil Dao expert in front of our Brotherhood? Isn't he just a chicken or a stray dog? They can't even withstand a single blow. I also think this is good. Killing the chicken to warn the monkey. Let the other Devil Dao experts know that now is the world of the righteous path. You Devil Dao experts can just hide in the Hades mountain range. These young people were extremely strong, almost at the level of 4-star heavenly gods or 5-star heavenly gods. When their strength exploded, they were indeed mighty and domineering. It seems that these people are some geniuses. Although you are not the most outstanding and can only be said to be 3rd tier, killing you should make my name even more famous. Lin Fei laughed. With a swoosh, he came over. One by one, the treasures were sent flying. The frost that filled the sky froze the void in an instant. Wherever the frost passed, the figures were instantly blown to smithereens. What a weakling! You want to deal with me with this kind of strength? You are really dreaming. Lin Fei squinted his eyes slightly. He turned around and punched the void in the distance. Layers of the void were directly blasted, all the way to the end. Lin Fei's figure directly rushed in. There was actually a spaceship in the void. There are fish that escaped the net. In the surrounding area, there was really nothing that could hide from Lin Fei. Even if this small spaceship was extremely well hidden, the result would be the same. Chapter 4786. This small spaceship wasn't very big. It just stopped in the depths of the void. Of course, treasures like this weren't cheap. He estimated that it would cost at least a few thousand cubic meters. If that wasn't the case, it wouldn't be hidden in the void. It could even travel through the void. After Lin Fei rushed in through the void, the small spaceship flew forward. It was so fast that it looked like a shadow. How could Lin Fei let it go? He activated the great Tao of time. Although it was only 10 times slower, it was enough for Lin Fei. He enveloped the spaceship. Lin Fei's time, slowed down, was still very large. In the blink of an eye, the other party couldn't escape. Lin Fei chased after him. The 5 elements technique turned into ropes that flew out of the void and wrapped around the spaceship. The spaceship couldn't fly anymore. Lin Fei caught up in a few breaths' time. He punched the spaceship. The surface of the spaceship had a very strong defense. It caused the blood of the only person left inside to churn. He spat out a lot of blood. If you don't come out, I'll beat you to death. Lin Fei punched the spaceship again and again. Strands of energy seeped in and struck the person's body. Because Lin Fei had added the great karma technique to these traces of power, he could accurately lock onto the target. The other party had ambushed him here. This meant that he had a karmic connection with Lin Fei. Now this karmic connection would come in handy. Spare me. I'll come out now. I'll come out now. Don't kill me. A terrified voice came from the spaceship. The defense around them opened. A figure came out obediently. There were huge wounds all over his body. His face was extremely pale, and he looked like he was on the verge of death. You ran so fast when you saw me. Do you really think you can escape? When Lin Fei saw that it was just a 3-star heavenly god, he knew why the other party was here. He was probably a ship pilot. Lin Fei felt bored for a moment. His fingers struck the center of the other party's brows. He had plundered all of the other party's information. Lin Fei fell into deep thought. He didn't expect to discover some unexpected news. Extreme Heaven Mountain, Tao discussion, assembly of the younger generation. The current hatred value could be said to be a drop in the bucket for Lin Fei. Now that he had gained a bit of fame, there were people who came to ambush him. But for Lin Fei, this was not enough. The difference was too great. The world was so big, and such a small place could only be said to be a corner of it. Lin Fei naturally wanted to seize the opportunity to expand his reputation. This way he could gain more hatred. After seeing this extreme Heaven's Mountain, Lin Fei knew that his opportunity had come. This extreme Heaven Mountain was a rather special place. It was a battlefield in ancient times, and there were still various divine abilities left behind. Every 10 years, there would be geniuses who would go there to spar and comprehend the sacred arts on the extreme Heaven Mountain. Hence, it was very lively. Not long after, it would be the Tao discussion assembly that was held once every 10 years. It was said that only the most powerful ones were qualified to go there to comprehend the sacred arts. 300 years ago, there was an ordinary cultivator who comprehended the sacred arts here. In just 300 years, he became a 7-star celestial powerhouse. It only took him 300 years to go from a 1-star to a 7-star celestial. This kind of potential was considered very outstanding. Unless he was a disciple of a top family, it was impossible to cross several realms in a few hundred years. Lin Fei wondered if he should go to this extreme Heaven Mountain to take a look. He could at least go and make his presence known. This way, he might be able to gain more hatred. If he really encountered any experts, he could just leave. He believed that there wouldn't be too many powerful experts in such a place. Lin Fei was still very confident in his strength. Now that he had the great Tao of time and the infinite divine body tier 15, he had the foundation of a 9-star celestial. If he unleashed his strength, he would definitely have the strength of a 10-star celestial. Hence, Lin Fei boarded the spaceship and headed straight for the extreme Heaven Mountain. If he were to travel by himself, it would take a long time. However, if he had this spaceship, it would be different. At most, he would be able to reach the extreme Heaven Mountain in a month. He could take this month to have a good rest. At the same time, he released the king of 10,000 demons. This guy was on tenterhooks. As soon as he came out, he stood beside Lin Fei obediently. He could see that this spaceship was an amazing treasure. It was worth at least a few thousand yuan crystals. Tell me, how can we collect the resentment prayer beads? Now that we are in a different world, we'll have to live here for at least 200 to 300 years. The longest is 500 years. As soon as the king of 10,000 demons came out, he felt that this place was a little different. It turned out that he had come to a new world. When he heard that he would have to stay here for 200 to 300 to 500 years, he understood what was going on. After all, he already knew that Lin Fei had gone to the Miracle City. The Miracle City was extremely mysterious. Until now, no one knew its specific origins. However, those who went to the Miracle City would either take something out or die in there. 99% of the people died inside. The remaining 10% weren't any better. Even though the king of 10,000 demons had caused such a huge commotion, he didn't have the guts to go to the Miracle City. He didn't want to go there and never return. If you want to collect the resentment prayer beads, I think it's best to borrow a force or form your own force. I'll be the front desk. This way, it will be very easy to get the resentment prayer beads. It's best to find a demonic force. Leave the rest to me. The king of 10,000 fiends volunteered. Lin Fei knew that bringing the king of 10,000 demons over this time was quite useful. If this guy went to the front desk, no one would suspect him. Anything that attracted hatred would be left to the king of 10,000 demons. This kind of free labor, Lin Fei quite liked it. The more the better. You should prepare well. When the time comes, I will find a demonic force and let you be the head. My goal is very simple. I must see the resentment prayer beads. The rest of the journey was very calm. During this period, Lin Fei saw a few flying ships. They were much bigger than this one. Looking at the direction they were heading, they might be heading towards the Heaven's Pole Mountain. Lin Fei could guess that the Heaven's Pole Mountain should be very lively. They were all heading in that direction. The closer they got to the Heaven's Pole Mountain, the more small flying ships they saw. Anyone who could drive a small flying ship naturally had a certain force.